with Alex Hayden on Pit Road, Steve Post and Chris Wilner.
Let's go back down to the pit lane, as a matter of fact, to the driver introduction stage, and hear from a driver in Cole Custer, where Kansas is the only track in the Xfinity Series. He's yet to get a top 10 finish. Steve Post, let's see if we can get that changed today.
Let's see what happens with that, Alex. Up here, Cole Custer ready to go. Qualified in the third spot, Cole, so looking to get that first top 10 here at Kansas. How do you feel about your race car and everything this weekend?
I feel good about it. I feel like our Haas Animation Ford Mustang's pretty good. I think JT and all the guys brought a good piece, so it's just a matter of keeping yourself in the game here, I think. I mean, it's going to be a lot of stuff happening to the end of this race. Lines are going to move around. You're going to be up against the fence. So I think if you keep yourself in the game, we'll be right in the mix.
What are restarts like here at Kansas?
Wild. I mean, there's so much going on aero-wise that puts you in bad spots, and you're kind of just hanging on with the car, and then you're having to make these 3-wide and 4-wide moves. It can really get dicey pretty fast. So you just got to make sure you're on the good side of it.
See what happens. Dicey, wild, restarts, Kansas. Cole Custer, he's going to start in the third spot here this afternoon.
And we'll have more for you from Kansas right after this.
Bundling and saving with Geico is an easy choice, so you're free to ponder life's big questions, like what's the best animal in the world if not humans? I'd strongly consider ducks to be somewhere up there on the list. Think about it. Ducks can swim, ducks can fly, and ducks can walk on land. They have access to all terrains. They are the ultimate animal. And they wiggle their butts when they walk, which is funny. Yeah, ducks are awesome. End of story. Bundling and saving with Geico. It's an easy choice.
NASCAR's next generation of stars drive in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
And here they come. Zane Smith now will try to advance his way to the lead.
Catch the excitement of every race right here.
NASCAR has made it official. Zane Smith is a back-to-back winner at the Daytona International Speedway in the opener.
On the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Regular season championship still undecided. You've heard from Austin Hill. You've heard from Justin Allgaier. The other player in this equation is John Hunter Nemechek, and we'll visit with him in just a moment. From Kansas Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
You'll have to see it to believe it. Whoever said that must have been talking about Talladega. It's a place where chaos mixes with speed, and a playoffs weekend becomes a lifetime of memories. It's a tradition like no other, at a track like no other. And after it's all over, you still won't believe it ever happened. NASCAR Playoffs Weekend at Talladega, September 30th through October 1st. Get your tickets now at TalladegaSuperspeedway.com.
From the infield garages to the race shops, NASCAR Hot Pass is your all-access ticket to the latest news from the sport.
Well, we got them down, now we put our foot on them. And that's the attitude you got to have.
I don't think it's a move that can have any success at Martinsville. I still don't know why it worked.
Stay up to date with all of your favorite drivers all year long.
Get to the Final Four is what every driver in NASCAR's goals are.
NASCAR Hot Pass, weekday mornings from the Motor Racing Network.
Regular season championship conversation with John Hunter Nemechek will take place in just a moment. Back to the playoff picture, and to make it official, only 10 drivers have actually punched their ticket into the playoffs. That 11th position belongs to Daniel Hemrick, and Chris Wilner, all he needs to do is take the green flag.
Right, that's right. Just start the race, and Daniel Hemrick is back in the postseason once again. But Daniel, it's a new car number for you, running the 10 car here because it's in the Owners' Championship. First of all, what's the adjustment been like? You've got Alex Yance as your crew chief. You had to switch over. The only thing that's the same on that car is your Circle sponsorship.
Yeah, we love having Circle on board this Circle Chevrolet. So, yeah, it's a bit of a mix-up for sure. But, I've enjoyed the process of getting acclimated with these guys. It's actually a lot of the same guys I had at the beginning of last year, so not completely foreign to me. I got to bring my spotter, Jason Jarrett, over to the 10 car. So, yeah, look forward to just having a good day. I feel like the speed is not quite as fast as Xfinity 10G Internet, but we're getting it closer. We're trying a lot of stuff within the walls of Colleague Race right now to find a little better speed to make this Xfinity program better. Slowly but surely getting there, and hopefully we got a good day in the making.
You start up toward the front in 5th, so if the speed's not there, what can you work on? What's the plan here early on to make sure you're there at the end to get a win here?
Yeah, I mean, I think you just got to be methodical and have an understanding of where the racetrack's going and not get lost with that. Obviously, we practiced this morning with 65 degrees out. We're going to drop the rack here. It'll be about 85, I think. And, track temp's going to be a big deal. So the racetrack is a bit of an unknown for a lot of us. But I think you're going to see cars from the bottom to the fence and everywhere in between. So we'll have options to manipulate our race car's balance, and hopefully between what I can do in the car and what we'll have available for adjustments, we can go and have a good solid last run to the last race before the playoffs and hit Bristol next week in the playoffs with some momentum.
All right, that's Daniel Hemrick, guys, again, going to roll off in the 5th position. He said the biggest thing today, make sure I stop in the right pit stall. Not number 11, it's number 10 today.
Those little types of things, you may not think about it, but they do actually come into play, Jeff, when you think about what you have to do, because you're looking for a specific pit sign that's hanging over your pit box with a certain number on it that you've been driving all year. When you switch, and this again, because this car number also in the Owners' Championship, that could be something confusing.
And that is looking for a new normal. When you get used to something, Steve Post, and all of a sudden, you've seen it many times down there, you make one simple change, and, well, that's difficult for a driver. What about Josh Berry? What's his thoughts as he gets ready to go?
Well, let's find out from Josh Berry. He locked in on points here as far as that goes. So, Josh, you know you're moving on to the next round, getting playoff ready. What's the mission here today at Kansas as far as you guys getting moving forward here?
Just to win, really. I know it's simple to say, but really that's our only goal coming out of this. We're not really worried about anything other than that. So we feel like we have a fast car. We had a good practice, had a good qualifying lap going, slipped a little bit off of 4 and got the fence just barely. But really, I mean, we were trending. We think we would have got the pole if that wouldn't have happened. So we feel confident about our car. It's going to be a different race. We're going to be on the fence all day, and it's just going to be about keeping the right side on it, keeping the tires inflated, and being there at the end.
You say we're on the fence, but a car's single file on the fence. Have you worked on passing, and what if you're all on the fence, who's going to pass? How are you going to pass?
Yeah, it's going to be tough. I think it's going to be kind of Homestead-esque, how you kind of have to time them and maybe almost do like mini slide jobs to get up in front of them. But, I feel good about our car, right? I think we've gotten better. These last few intermediates for us have been really good. So we feel like today we can keep trending that direction. We got a great pit crew on pit road that's been helping us out week in and week out. And we're going to do everything we can to put this Johnny Morris Bass Pro Shop Chevrolet in victory lane.
There we go. Josh Berry trending in a real good direction here.
He is, indeed. And Sheldon Creed is also going to go playoff racing this year here in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. But Chris Wilner, I think Sheldon Creed at this point just wants to get a win under his belt.
He would like that for sure. A win would be nice, right, Sheldon Creed? I feel like every time we talk, it's when is it coming? You've been close. You've had several opportunities. But, man, how's today's race car? I mean, you're coming from the 16th starting spot, so where is the speed in this RCR Chevy?
Yeah, honestly, after practice, I thought we were going to have a good shot at the pole. It wasn't really great on the short run on the bottom, but I was really good up top at the end of practice, so I felt really good about it. And, I don't know. This place, I feel like the more it's worn out, the more, I guess, different the top and bottom become. And I was just really tight on the bottom there in qualifying. And after watching it, I probably should have ran the top, especially with how much speed the 8 had there, running the top. So note that for next year. But overall, I feel really good about, our Whelen Chevrolet, and going to go rip the top all day probably and see where that puts us.
You're locked in on points, but just momentum speaking going into Bristol, how big would a big finish today, whether it be a win, a top 5 for this group going into the postseason?
Yeah, I mean, definitely want to just, end the regular season on a good note here, and that'd be really, really good for us going into the playoffs. But if that can be a win or a top 5, we'll take it, keep the ball rolling. We've had really good finishes here lately, so I want to keep that going and keep this momentum going into the playoffs.
All right, that's Sheldon Creed again. He's got some work to do rolling off 16th. An ARCA winner here in the past, going to try to get his first career win in the Xfinity Series here today.
And now, as promised, the regular season championship, as you know by now, is on the line. Austin Hill, Justin Allgaier, or John Hunter Nemechek will claim it? Let's hear from John Hunter right now.
Yeah, John Hunter Nemechek, one of the drivers running for the championship. The regular season championship starts in the 7th spot. That run for the championship, 5 wins this year. I want to go a little off Xfinity Series before we talk about today's race. John Hunter, big news this week. You announced that you've got employment next year, going to run in the Cup Series for Legacy Motor Club. How nice is that, and how nice is it to have that out of the way in the early part of September as well?
Definitely excited for the opportunity to join the club at Legacy Motor Club. I'm excited to work with Jimmy, Maury, Cal. Just thankful for the opportunity. Looking forward to getting behind the wheel of a Toyota Camry next year in 2024. But this year, with it being announced, it's nice to kind of get it out there and just focus on strictly business here in the Xfinity Series. So going after the championship, we've had a really good year so far. Regular season finale today, 23 points I think out of the lead to go win that. So we just got to go maximize our day, get as many points as we can, control what we can control, and try and get some momentum on our side before going to Bristol next week to start our playoff run.
3rd place last week at Bristol. That's an old slick race, or Darlington, right up against the wall. I mean, the tracks look so different, but are there similar things that you can carry from last week to this week?
Running the fence, rip the fence. We had a really fast Pi Barker Toyota GR Supra last weekend, and I feel like we do today as well in race trim. I gambled in qualifying on running a different line. It didn't quite pay off like I wanted it to, but all in all, really looking forward to getting racing here today. Kansas has been a really good place to me and my family over the past few years, and remember being here as a kid in Victory Lane with my dad on the Xfinity side and the Cup side in 2004. So hopefully we can bring home another cool brass trophy from here.
Man, that would be kind of cool. That's John Hunter Nemechek. You're right. His dad won Xfinity and Cup Series. He starts in the 7th spot here this afternoon.
He does, and he's a driver that if he can get out front, Jeff, he's one that can really control the pace of a race and be the one to force everybody else to do things they may not necessarily want to do.
Doesn't that describe, though, his 2 drivers that he's competing with for the regular season championship? Austin Hill, we've seen him do that before, and obviously Justin Allgaier, very capable of doing that as well, and Justin will be the driver that will indeed lead the field of the green flag, so he's got the first shot to do that, Alex. 3 drivers, regular season championship, all the dramas of the playoff picture. There's a lot on the line. It's going to be a good day, good afternoon here at Kansas.
And perfect weather to go 300 miles of racing here for the NASCAR Xfinity Series in the Kansas Lottery 300. Practice and qualifying held earlier today. Now we just need to race and find out who our playoff contenders are going to be, find out who our regular season champion is going to be. All of that is 300 miles away. But first, we go trackside for pre-race ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please rise as you're able and remove your hats as the American Legion 153 Color Guard presents our nation's colors. Here to offer today's invocation, please welcome from Blue Valley Church, Pastor Micah Hayes.
Would you all pray with me? Father, we love you, and we thank you for your grace and your goodness in bringing us here today to this amazing speedway, for we know that everything we have comes from you and your hand. Lord, we thank you for this opportunity to be here, and we ask for your safety and your provision for the drivers, for the crews, for the fans, and for all the workers today, that you protect them and enable them to entertain and have a great time as we get to enjoy racing to the glory of your name. And Lord, most importantly, we thank you for Jesus, for we know that it's through him we have life everlasting, and it's in his name we pray. Amen.
Here to perform our national anthem, please welcome the Youth Chorus of Kansas City.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare of bombs were seen in air.
wraps up pre-race ceremonies. The drivers will swing a leg over the door and slide into the cockpit of the race cars. The NASCAR Xfinity Series is next.
NASCAR Live Race Day has been brought to you by Toyota. For the latest Toyota racing information, visit toyotaracing.com.
Jim Gaffigan here with some more Straight Talk. Let's take a moment to appreciate our sweet children, loving grandparents, and eternal soulmates. Now let's use them to save money on wireless. Because with the Straight Talk Silver Plan, you get 4 lines for just $25 a month with unlimited data and no contracts. So add those human pawns, loved ones, and save money. Thanks, kids. They're finally worth it. Straight Talk Wireless, available at Walmart.
Get 4 lines on Silver Unlimited for $25 per line per month, plus taxes and fees. For data management practices and additional terms, visit straighttalk.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle Penn. You may know that Victory Junction provides fun, adaptive, and life-changing experiences for kids with all levels of abilities, serious illnesses, and chronic medical conditions. But did you know that camp is free for the children and families we serve? Your support helps every camper build a foundation to live their best life. Make your gift today at victoryjunction.org/donate and feel your heart race.
From Kansas Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
When you're on the go, catch NASCAR Today to keep up with the latest.
It's the only thing I race for. Race wins are nice, but championships is what it's all about.
Every weekday, you'll hear the top stories of the day.
I'm excited to announce that I'll be taking my talents to Welcome, North Carolina to drive the number 8 car for Richard Childress Racing starting in 2023.
And from the stars of the sport.
Holy smokes, we get to go race for a championship.
I'm Chase Elliott. Listen to NASCAR Today every weekday right here on the Motor Racing Network.
Wing Nation TV, presented by Sage Fruit, is your go-to destination for all the latest sprint car news and interviews with the stars of sprint car racing from around the country. This is Steve Post. Join Ashley Strummy and me each Friday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time on MAV TV. In Canada, check us out Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Rev TV. Ashley and I talk with all the biggest names in sprint car racing every week. If you love sprint cars, make sure you join us on Wing Nation TV.
Live on the Motor Racing Network, it's the NASCAR Xfinity Series.
Let's get a big thumbs up. Get ready to rock and roll past the race cars today, pal. Oh, boys, let's execute. Have a good day.
Today, the Kansas Lottery 300 from Kansas Speedway. Sponsored by Geico. Switch to Geico today and see all the ways you could save. By Blue Green Vacations, the official vacation ownership provider of NASCAR, invites you to believe in the power of vacation. By Powerball, the official lottery game of NASCAR and home to the NASCAR Powerball Playoff. By Skechers, comfort included. By Toyota, for the latest Toyota racing information, visit toyotaracing.com. And by Sunoco, fill up with top-tier certified Sunoco Ultratech today.
Welcome back to the Kansas Speedway. As we get ready, we'll take you trackside for the Command coming up in just a moment. Glad to have you with us on a Saturday afternoon here at the on the Motor Racing Network. We talked about a big day, and it will be. Alex Hayden, again, as we revisit quickly, so much on the line. You've got a regular season championship. You heard from all 3 contenders there. You've got the playoff picture that we just got to remember. It isn't just Riley and Parker. There are other players in this game as well.
There are 11 other drivers not yet qualified for the playoffs that can jump up, win this race, and be in the playoffs. They can do a walk-off, if you will. So there's an awful lot of drama on that. Then you have just the race itself. This is a tough racetrack. It's a tough race to win, and everybody wants to be the one to go to Ruoff Mortgage Victory Lane at Kansas Speedway, and that's part of the charm of NASCAR racing and the way we determine our champion. Even though you're not a playoff driver, whatever the case may be, you still have a right to go out and race as hard as you want and try to win this race.
Stage 1, 45 laps. Stage 2, 45 additional. Is there an opportunity in there to play a strategy card? That's right at the fuel window, is it not?
I think it's more about the Goodyear Eagle tires because this track is abrasive and these tires do wear out relatively quickly. We saw in practice that the speeds slowed down dramatically by almost 5 miles per hour through just 20-lap runs. So this is going to be more about tire conservation and saving the best for last.
And on a beautiful Saturday afternoon, we can't say that enough. Not a cloud in the sky. Temperatures right around 80 degrees. A great crowd on hand as we get ready to go. The regular season finale for the NASCAR Xfinity Series, the Kansas Lottery 300. Trackside now for the command.
And now, race fans, here to say the most famous words in motorsports. Please welcome, with a big rock chalk, the University of Kansas Jayhawks student athletes.
Drivers, start your engines!
And with that, the engines come to life. 38 cars, 38 drivers. We get set to race the Kansas Lottery 300.
Sir, are you aware you were going 40 miles an hour? This is a residential area.
Sure, but I'm on my lawnmower? Wait, am I getting a ticket?
No, I've just never seen anyone top 9 miles an hour on one of those bad boys. And mow their entire lawn in 30 seconds? What got into you?
Well, it did fuel up at Sunoco this morning.
At Sunoco, we know how to fuel peak performance. We've been doing it for American racing for over 50 years. Fuel your best.
Welcome to Homestead Miami Speedway, where the sun and sand of South Beach meet the heat of NASCAR playoffs action. An Xfinity and Truck Series doubleheader on Saturday, a Cup Series playoff showdown on Sunday, and a South Florida fiesta all weekend long. Experience NASCAR Playoffs weekend at Homestead Miami Speedway, October 21st and 22nd. Get your tickets now at homesteadmiamispeedway.com.
From Kansas Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Whelen Engineering, a global leader in the emergency warning industry, designs and manufactures reliable and powerful warning lights, white illumination lighting, sirens, controllers, and warning systems for the automotive, aviation, and mass notification industries worldwide. Whelen products are designed, sourced, and manufactured in America and tested on site to meet the toughest industry standards. Whelen Engineering, manufactured in America for over 70 years. We never left, and we're here to stay. The Tough Trucks of NASCAR, an exclusive podcast from the Motor Racing Network.
Ron Hornaday, green flag is in the air. He will take the field quickly to turn one.
Relive the moments of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series from its debut in 1995.
Checkered flag in the air. Skinner wins with the inaugural for the NASCAR Truck Series by Craftsman.
The legends of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
Todd Bodine wins 4 in a row on super speedways.
The Tough Trucks of NASCAR, available on podcast platforms and MRN.com. Now, here's the starting lineup.
Starting 38th is C.J. McLaughlin. The 37th starter is Mason Massey. Starting 36th, Joey Gase. Blaine Perkins will start 35th. Garrett Smithley goes 34th. Brennan Poole is the 33rd starter. Anthony Alfredo starts 32nd. And the 31st starter is Kaz Gralla.
Nick Lights is going to start 30th, starting 29th. Kyle Sieg. Leland Honeyman will drive the 66 today. He will start 28th, starting 27th. Matt Mills. Parker Retzloff, 26th. Dawson Cram will start 25th. 24th, Josh Williams. Ryan Ellis will start 23rd. 22nd starter, Rajah Caruth. And starting 21st will be Jeremy Clements.
Connor Mozak will start 20th. Kyle Weatherman starts 19th. Derek Kraus goes 18th. Jeb Burton will start 17th. Sheldon Creed qualified 16th. Parker Kligerman will start today's race 15th. Ryan Sieg is the 14th starter. Sam Mayer goes 13th. Chandler Smith 12th. And the 11th starter, Joe Graff Jr.
And now your top 10 starters. Starting 10th, Brett Moffitt. Starting 9th, Austin Hill. Starting 8th, Riley Herbst. John Hunter Nemechek will start 7th. 6th will be Josh Berry. 5th will be Daniel Hemrick. Starting 4th, Brandon Jones. Starting 3rd, Cole Custer. Front row, starting second, Sammy Smith. Leading the field to the green flag, Justin Allgaier. He did that by cutting a lap at 176.206 miles an hour.
Kansas Speedway of 1.5 miles around. It is D-shaped, and the continuous long curve is on the front side of this race course. It is 2,684 feet around the bode outside where the start-finish line is. A quick straightaway, and then they're off to turns 1 and 2, and they'll come into the view of Dave Moody from Barrie, Vermont.
Thank you, Alex Hayden. Good afternoon once again, everybody, from high above turns 1 and 2 here at the Kansas Speedway. Variable degree banking in the turns here at Kansas. 17 degrees at the very bottom of the racetrack, 18 further up, 19 further still, and a full 20 degrees up next to the safer barrier at the extreme outside lane. That's where the bulk of the work will be done. That's where the momentum and the speed both lie. But as we've heard a number of drivers say already today, not everybody can run up there, especially if you want to pass the guy in front of you. It gets a little tight at the end of turn number 2. That banking falls away to just 5 degrees on the back straightaway, and we've seen some incidents over the years exiting off onto turn 2. We'll cover it all from high atop the Kansas Lottery play-on billboard between turns 1 and 2 here at Kansas Speedway. Now to the other end of the house, and Milford, Delaware's Mike Bagley.
Thank you, Dave, and good afternoon, everybody. Dave talks about how the banking falls away to a 5-degree banked backstretch. Lots of action takes place there. Lots of jostling going on before you hit the reset button and then make your way into turns 3 and 4. Track is wide, variable banking. It's a hot day here in Kansas, and that means a very slick racetrack that these drivers will need to contend with. We'll cover all the slipping and sliding and all the emotions that go along with that from the purple and white Ally billboard midway between turns 3 and 4 here this afternoon.
And when you talk about drivers, Mike, we spoke to a lot of those drivers during our pre-race show, but what other stories are we following on pit road? Let's find out right now. One more trip to pit road before we put them under the green flag, and let's start with Steve Post.
Saturday afternoon, NASCAR Xfinity Series racing and college football in America and college football in the heartland is well represented. We just had Kansas Jayhawk students give the command, and they'll be pulling for Brennan Poole. He has a number of the Kansas Jayhawk athletes' likeness on the race car. Now, a driver really getting into this is Jeremy Clements. He has the Kansas State Wildcats emblazoned on his car. He met with some of the students. They had a big pep rally. They have a big tailgate party here, and Jeremy said, we're going to drive this thing like a Wildcat here today. Kansas, the Wildcats, the Jayhawks, both off to a good start, both 2-0 in college football, and we'll see how their drivers can represent their universities here this afternoon at Kansas. Chris?
Well, for Brett Moffitt, he's more of an Iowa fan, but today he may have to drive like a Wildcat in a must-win situation. A lot of attention has been on Parker Kligerman, Riley Herbst for the battle of that playoff spot, but Brett Moffitt said, don't forget about me. He won here in the trucks back in the day, of course, the former Truck Series champion, but is also coming off 3 straight top 10s at this racetrack in the Xfinity Series. I talked to him before the race today. He said the team has worked on this Kansas car longer than they typically do before each race, and they said a lot of emphasis was into that car because they knew they'd be in this position today. So Brett Moffitt said all the focus has been on Kansas. He said they feel really good about the race car. Just hope Lady Luck is on their side as he hopes to win and advance into the postseason. Again, Brett Moffitt, kind of one of those wild cards, but for many, they think he could spoil the party today and lock himself into the postseason.
They need to be considered as a threat, absolutely, because when you have nothing to lose, Jeff, those are the ones you have to worry about the most. They can do different things if they want to on pit lane. We'll find out what the crew chiefs elect to do as the race unfolds lap after lap, but those types of athletes and those types of teams are so dangerous because they have nothing to lose.
Yeah, and they'll sneak up and bite you when you're just not looking. You know, you're focused on, I don't know, a Justin Allgaier, an Austin Hill, a John Hunter Nemechek, and all of a sudden, as we're running down the leaderboard, you drop a Brandon Jones, you drop a Brett Moffitt, and you go, you know what, these guys are quietly climbing the leaderboard and putting themselves in position to do what those two have to do today if they're going to race for a championship, and that is win it and go to victory lane. That's it.
That is it. but they're going to have to battle this tough racetrack as well. To just the ordinary casual person walking up and looking at the place, you think, oh, this is a big, nice, wide open, sweeping racetrack. And it is. It is a beautiful thing. However, it will slap you around if you're not on your game. We see a bunch of dark black Goodyear tire rubber marks all the way around this bright white safer barrier to driver's right. The best in the business in the NASCAR Cup Series earlier today in practice and qualifying. Kyle Busch hit the wall. Ty Gibbs hit the wall. William Byron hit the wall. There's a lot of top drivers that have a hard time getting around this racetrack. It's not that easy.
That is Alex Hayden. My name is Jeff Striegel. Out in the turns today, Dave Moody and Mike Bagley covering the action on pit road. Steve Post and Chris Wilner. And with that, Alex Hayden, we're set to go. The NASCAR Xfinity Series.
We are. Junior Motorsports on a 1.5 mile track this year. Well, they've won 6 of the last 7 1.5 mile races dating back to last year as well. Can they be the team? Time will find out as we get set to put them under the green flag and to call the start for the Motor Racing Network from Grand Rapids, Michigan. Here's Jeff Striegel.
Regular season finale, race number 26 of 2023, the NASCAR Xfinity Series at the Kansas Speedway. Getting ready to go under the green flag. It is the Kansas Lottery 300, and we are green, and we are underway. On the outside, it is Justin Allgaier. To the inside, that is Sammy Smith.
Smith by a fender.
Trouble on the front straightaway. 2 cars get together, bounce off of one another. Those 2 cars up against the safer barriers. We continue, Dave.
Nick Weitz is one of them. He is well off the pace, badly damaged on the right rear tire is down. They didn't even make it to turn 1 before the trouble broke out.
Anthony Alfredo also involved. Caution flag out early. You're right, Dave. That took us, less than 100 yards. And the caution flag is out early here at the Kansas Speedway. And for those 2 drivers, Alex, and almost tongue-in-cheek, that is not how they wanted to get this day started.
It's not at all. I mean, the green flag flies. You're 150 yards past the start-finish line, coming through the gearbox, and they were just trying to both get to the same piece of real estate. Anthony Alfredo was on the outside lane. Looked like Nick Lights came up the track just a bit across the nose of Alfredo, put Anthony into the wall, pancaked the right side of that yellow and blue entrant, and Nick Lights got the worst of it as he spun around and made hard contact with the safer barrier.
Will they find a home? Sponsored by Geico. Susan has always wanted to live in a chateau.
I like a certain je ne sais quoi.
While Jake is more into the Cape Cod style home.
It's a classic look.
Compromise is tough, but these 2 won't have to compromise when they bundle home and car insurance with Geico. It's easy, and they could save even more. In the end, Susan and Jake found a Cape Cod style home where they will only speak French.
Bonjour, je t'aime, merci beaucoup, and cordon bleu.
You'll get better with time.
Bundling without compromise at Geico.com.
Do you have an unused car, truck, motorcycle, boat, or RV taking up space? Put it to good use by donating it to the NASCAR Foundation. Proceeds help fund medical resources for children in our racing community. Your wheels can heal. Call 844-NASCAR-9 and we'll come tow away your vehicle for free. The process is quick and your gift is tax deductible. Call 844-NASCAR-9 to donate your vehicle to the NASCAR Foundation today. Your donation will help our children survive and thrive.
Both Anthony Alfredo and Nick Lights have made their way to the pit lane for some repairs and some fresh Goodyear tires after getting up to 3rd gear before they made contact and getting into the safer barrier. Under caution right off the bat, Justin Allgaier being scored the race leader. From Kansas Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
MRN Classic Races.
The race to the Daytona 500 victory at the stripe. Kevin Harvick gets it by inches.
Covering over 50 years of NASCAR racing on the Motor Racing Network.
World 600, Richard Petty, career win number 170.
This is going to be close. They lean on one another. Ricky Craven gets the win, and they continue the crash headed up into turn 1.
Craven pounds the wall. Kurt Busch right back at him.
MRN Classic Races available on your favorite podcast platform.
AM radio provides always-on news, sports, talk, traffic, and weather reports. It also delivers vital emergency information when your community needs it most. A new bill in Congress would ensure AM radio stays in your car, because when cell and internet services are down, this free emergency service is critical. Text AM to 52886 and tell Congress to support the AM Radio for Every Vehicle Act.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to stop.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Back at Kansas Speedway, still under the caution flag. Safety trucks and sweeper trucks still trying to make sure all the bits and pieces have been cleaned up from the race surface before we can get back to green flag racing.
Anthony Alfredo coming back on to pit road. Dave Moody, every once in a while, we'll have this where we drop the green flag, and, well, before we even put it back and put it away, the yellow flag is already waving. I think Alex pointed it out very well. One piece of real estate, 2 drivers trying to occupy it, and that's going to make for a long afternoon for a couple of drivers.
Yeah, that's questionable, shaky math for sure. 2 cars in the place where only one will fit. I hope this isn't a bad sign. You know the old saying, cautions breed cautions, and when they fail to get their rhythm even on the first lap of the race, we'll just keep our fingers crossed that we can get this thing under green and put some laps down without another stoppage.
Well, we'll find out here very quickly as the field comes back around. We'll get the 1-to-go signal. They'll have the opportunity to choose what lane they want to restart in. They got all of maybe a driver and a pitching wedge worth of real estate to find out what their cars are going to do. So at least they get to choose.
Depends on who's driver. If we're talking about you, yes, for sure. Yeah, they're lined up single file. They will choose once they come across the line. Do they choose exactly how they took the green flag? We'll find out. As a matter of fact, we raced exactly 100 yards. Well, Mason Massey picked up 3 spots. Matt Mills 3. Ryan Sieg picked up a couple. Sheldon Creed picked up a couple. And Sam Mayer lost 2. Justin Allgaier will elect to start outside row 1, putting Sammy Smith inside row 1.
Yeah, and that's interesting because the leaders had gotten already into turns 1 and 2 when the crash happened well behind them deep in the field. When Justin Allgaier, the pole sitter in the initial start of the race, he chose to start the race on the outside lane. That put himself, Josh Berry, and Brandon Jones, 3 Junior Motorsports Camaros in a row, nose to tail on the outside lane at the drop of the green flag. Since we took the green and the leaders got over between turns 1 and 2 and we had the crash, they have now been mixed up. Those Junior Motorsports Camaros are sprinkled throughout the top 5, 6, or 7 5, 6, 7 positions up there.
Outside row 1, inside row 2. Outside row 3, to be exact. You've got Justin Allgaier outside row 1 with Sammy Smith to the inside, Brandon Jones inside, Cole Custer outside, and then you've got Daniel Hemrick working to the inside of Josh Berry.
Field is coming to the Geico Restart Zone, presented by Geico. Switch to Geico today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com to get a rate quote and get started seeing how much you could save.
When we go back under the green flag, lap 5, and remember that stage 1 will be complete at lap 45. Stage 2 at lap 90, 110 more to the black and white checkered flag. Justin Allgaier bringing the field back down to the line.
Here they come into the Geico Restart Zone. Green goes back in the air. We'll try this again, see if we can get a full lap in. Allgaier has Cole Custer shoving him all the way to turn 1.
Allgaier by about a half a car length by the time they hit the banking up turn 1. Now he will clear Sammy Smith. He runs about midway up the banking. Smith now under the gun. Here comes Cole Custer up high.
Cole Custer will come flying around the outside. He will complete the pass midway down the back straightaway. Takes second. Sammy Smith falls to third. Now it's John Hunter Nemechek and Josh Berry going at it for fourth.
Well, that is the big mover since we put him under the green flag. Now 1 lap complete under the green. John Hunter Nemechek restarted in position 7. He's up to 4th and looking for more.
He's picked up 3 spots very quickly, but he's going to have to bide his time for a moment here because the battle for second is side by side. Cole Custer rolling the outside lane.
Sammy Smith tried to open up the inside lane at a 2. Couldn't find any room to work. He'll fall back in. Here's Custer. He'll go to the high side of the racetrack in hot pursuit of Allgaier for the win.
Now, one driver that's going the wrong way immediately is Riley Herbst. He's being passed by Parker Kligerman at the start-finish line. These two drivers separated by 1 point for the championship spot as they race to 1.
Riley Herbst running about 2 grooves off the bottom of the racetrack. Parker Kligerman hugging the white line at the very bottom of the banking. For the moment, Riley Herbst will hold him off.
And that's the battle for about the 14th position right now. Riley in front of Parker off the end of the backstretch. Both drivers go to the top of the racetrack, and they both are in very, very heavy traffic.
And you are right, Mike. That is indeed the battle for position number 14 between Parker and Riley. Meanwhile, we've got a battle shaping up at the front of the field as well.
Cole Custer has reeled in Justin Allgaier. The general now working the back bumper for the lead on the backstretch.
Meanwhile, further back, you talk about that Riley Herbst Parker Kligerman action. It's 3 wide out of 2. Stuck in the middle there for a moment was Sam Mayer. Now Riley and Parker will both clear Mayer, and now Parker attempts to go side by side.
Riley Herbst lost 6 positions on the initial lap of the restart. Not sure if the car is just now settling in at pace as they go to the outside of the Chandler Smith car. Kligerman going to give him chase.
Herbst seems to be running at pace. He's running up next to the safer barrier this time around and has actually put 2 or 3 car lengths between himself and Parker Kligerman.
Closer to the front, battle for 5th. Here's Brandon Jones. He'll dial up the low lane at the entrance of 3 and bypass Josh Berry before he gets to 4.
Brandon Jones up to position number 5. Berry back to 6. 10 laps complete. Justin Allgaier, Cole Custer, John Hunter Nemechek, and Sammy Smith. Brandon Jones top 5. Then it's Josh Berry, Daniel Hemrick, Brett Moffitt, Sheldon Creed, and Austin Hill top 10.
For Jeff, for as much as we talk about Justin Allgaier leading laps, running at the front of the field here in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, well, here at Kansas Speedway, he's the race leader. These are the first laps he's led here at this racetrack in this division in 10 years.
Well, it is a surprise, but you also take a look at what Junior Motorsports does on mile-and-a-half racetracks. They win, and they win frequently.
6 of the last 7 mile-and-a-half tracks the Junior Motorsports Camaros have won in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. So it's settling down now here at the front of the field. Justin Allgaier, Cole Custer 2nd. John Hunter Nemechek rallied up, took the 3rd spot. Sammy Smith is 4th. Brandon Jones rounds out the top 5.
Maybe a story developing, perhaps. Sammy Smith, not sure about all 4 of those Goodyear Racing Eagles, so we'll keep an eye on Sammy. Right now he is running in position number 4. We have spotted debris in turn number 3, and that will bring out a caution. It may be off the Anthony Alfredo car. So we are going to go under the caution flag. Big chunk of debris laying down near the apron of the racetrack. Second caution flag of the afternoon. It comes out early, only 12 complete. Allgaier, Custer, John Hunter Nemechek, Sammy Smith, Brandon Jones, top 5, lap 12 under caution.
The race to 1 million is heating up in the NASCAR Powerball playoffs. 16 fans are locked in for the chance to win a VIP trip to NASCAR Championship weekend and the $1 million grand prize. Follow along to see who advances and who gets cut. And be sure to watch the $1 million drawing live from Victory Lane at Phoenix Raceway on Sunday, November 5th on NBC. Powerball, the official lottery game of NASCAR and home of the NASCAR Powerball playoff.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and I dedicate a lot of my time going fast. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Under caution, lap number 14, where eyes right now are on the race leader, Justin Allgaier. And there appears as though, Alex, that there is something wedged up underneath the splitter.
On the left front of the splitter, and he's going to stay on the racetrack. Pit lane is closed as he's coming by us behind the pace car. You can see some piece of debris sticking out of the left front corner of the splitter, so that's not good news for the race leader.
Back with a green flag in a moment from Kansas Speedway. This is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Hi, I'm Kyle Penn. You may know that Victory Junction provides fun, adaptive, and life-changing experiences for kids with all levels of abilities, serious illnesses, and chronic medical conditions. But did you know that camp is free for the children and families we serve? Your support helps every camper build a foundation to live their best life. Make your gift today at victoryjunction.org/donate and feel your heart race.
Hi, I'm MRN lead pit reporter Steve Post. Go behind the scenes each week with me and championship-winning crew chief Todd Gordon for MRN Crew Call.
They're really strong and going to win races soon.
We'll talk to some of the biggest names standing atop the pit box. Crew chief for William Byron on that number 24 car, Rudy Fugel, as well as break down all the exciting action from the weekend in NASCAR.
The one car with 2 wins and all the top 5s he's had, Ross and Phil have done a phenomenal job.
You can download MRN Crew Call wherever you get your podcasts.
Debris cleanup continues. Actually, there are 3 trucks out working way up the banking on turn number 4. Allgaier race leader. During the break, we talked about a potential issue. Update from pit road, Steve Post.
Yes, indeed. There is some debris in the left front of Justin Allgaier's Chevy Camaro. Jim Pullman, the crew chief, just told him, we want you to just keep that left front down because we don't want that debris to come out from under it and go up under the car. And what the problem is that it's lodged into the grill of the car. They don't want it to fall down and come under the car because then it would go under the tires of the automobile, and that would be a bigger problem. So really what's interesting, their hope is that the debris stays there until the end of the stage break and they can take it out here on pit road as opposed to it coming out on the racetrack. And we're under caution here. Chandler Smith, they're under the hood of his car, another one of our pending playoff drivers, Chandler Smith. Something in the engine department, looks like they're looking maybe down a cylinder. In fact, it sounds like it might be down a cylinder. So lots and lots of activity here between Justin Allgaier and Chandler Smith in the early going.
Again, it just seems to be Kansas Speedway. There's always issues that pop up for a lot of drivers who are, and in this case, trying to get in the playoffs or already in the playoffs, trying to finish off a race in the regular season, or like the NASCAR Cup Series or the Craftsman Truck Series that we saw last night. There's always problems with a lot of the contenders.
We talked a lot about that during our practice and qualifying show for the Hollywood Casino 400. That was taking place earlier today. By the way, Christopher Bell, he is just red hot in qualifying right now, and he scored the pole. He'll be the driver leading the field of the green flag tomorrow. Our airtime, by the way, on the Motor Racing Network comes your way at 2 o'clock. Mike Bagley and the team. NASCAR Live Race Day is going to take you all the way up to the green flag. But back to your point, you're right. And tomorrow, with a Cup Series, a mistake could be a dagger that you just can't avoid.
You're right about that, because 400 miles around here, while it is a significant length race, this one tends to go by in a relative hurry for the NASCAR Cup Series. So you got to be as clean as you can possibly be on the racetrack and on pit road. Same with what we're seeing here, but now Justin Allgaier, who's trying to jump up and potentially win a regular season championship, he's going to be facing adversity with the debris stuck in the splitter on the left side of the race car. Just one of those types of tracks and one of those types of scenarios.
Right now we have run 8 laps under caution of the 16. Let's put them back under the green flag here at some point, Alex, and get this thing started and start logging some laps. The longest green flag run has been just 8 laps. Justin Allgaier at the front of the field.
He is. And now Chandler Smith, Steve Post reported a moment ago, they had the hood up and the engine did not sound well on it. We look down and we see a lot of his crew members are running back to the Xfinity Series garage. Fully expect Chandler, who's on the racetrack at the moment, to come back around and go straight to the Xfinity garage.
So we expect to get the one to go when the field comes across the start-finish line. The indication from the flag stand, indeed, that is what we will do. So we'll be green next time by. Choose in play. Allgaier went to the top twice. I would imagine Allgaier will go to the top for a third time. Cole Custer will go to the inside, as Justin does indeed do what we expected. He'll restart outside row 1.
No real big shakeup on the choose with these drivers here just past start finish. Everybody essentially alternating inside and out. That means the field's coming to the Geico restart zone presented by Geico. Switch to Geico today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com to get a rate quote and get started seeing how much you could save.
Justin Allgaier, Cole Custer, John Hunter Nemechek, he was the big mover early on. He did elect a start outside row 2. Sammy Smith, 4th. Brandon Jones, Josh Berry, the teammates go 5-6. Daniel Hemrick is 7th. Sheldon Creed, Brett Moffitt, Austin Hill. That is your top 10. They make their way down the back straightaway. Covering the action for the Motor Racing Network just outside of turn number 3 is Mike Bagley.
Field is lined up double wide behind the safety car. We'll have the binoculars on that left front corner of Justin Allgaier's car. We'll see if that debris comes loose or how that is transacted as he will restart with Cole Custer to his left elbow. Behind them, we got Sammy Smith restarting to the inside of John Hunter Nemechek. Behind them, Josh Berry will restart to the inside of Brandon Jones as the field is inching towards the exit of turn 4.
Here they come to complete lap number 18 here of stage number 1, 18 complete of the entire race, and the green flag goes back in the air. Racing once again here at Kansas Speedway. Justin Allgaier gets a little kick in the back bumper courtesy of John Hunter Nemechek as they race to 1.
Cole Custer gets the same courtesy of Sammy Smith, and they'll be virtually side by side into the banking of turns 1 and 2. Custer down low by about a fender. Allgaier trying to come back on the outside.
Ford and Chevy side by side for the lead. Here's the Ford of Cole Custer to the inside of the Chevy of Justin Allgaier. They will race their way off turn number 4 with Allgaier taking the lead.
Brett Moffitt restarted in position number 7, and we got one car out of shape, and it's Sam Mayer, and he's going to get hammered right here at the start-finish line. Sam Mayer broke loose off of turn number 4. Kyle Weatherman T-bones him right at the start-finish line, and guess what, Alex Hayden? We are back under the caution flag yet again.
Yeah, we are. Justin Allgaier has led all 19 laps, but the second highest lap leader right now is the Xfinity Series pace car as it's going to make its way back on the racetrack and pick up the field. It looked like Sam Mayer just coming off turn 4. Jeff just lost the back end of the car, started fishtailing the car, trying to gather it back up, finally lost control of the machine. It spun around. Kyle Weatherman had nowhere to go and T-boned the Sam Mayer car. Sam has been able to drive away, limping his way around the racetrack. Meanwhile, Weatherman continues to sit idle and the safety teams are on the scene.
Jim Gaffigan here with some more Straight Talk. Let's take a moment to appreciate our sweet children, loving grandparents, and eternal soulmates. Now let's use them to save money on wireless. Because with the Straight Talk Silver Plan, you get 4 lines for just $25 a month with unlimited data and no contracts. So add those human pawns, loved ones, and save money. Thanks, kids. They're finally worth it. Straight Talk Wireless, available at Walmart.
Get 4 lines on Silver Unlimited for $25 per line per month, plus taxes and fees. For data management practices and additional terms, visit straighttalk.com.
From the infield garages to the race shops, NASCAR Hot Pass is your all-access ticket to the latest news from the sport.
Well, we got them down, now we put our foot on them. And that's the attitude you got to have.
I don't think it's a move that can have any success at Martinsville. I still don't know why it worked.
Stay up to date with all of your favorite drivers all year long.
Get to the Final Four is what every driver in NASCAR's goals are.
NASCAR Hot Pass, weekday mornings from the Motor Racing Network.
From Kansas Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
The year was 1993. The NASCAR Cup Series season kicked off with the Dale and Dale Show at the Daytona 500.
Dale Jarrett's got the lead. He goes to the inside. Earnhardt's not going to get him. Dale Jarrett is going to win the Daytona 500 by STP. Earnhardt second.
The 1993 NASCAR Cup Series season. All the highs and lows. Relive them all on MRN's exclusive podcast, The 1993 Season. Available on podcast platforms and MRN.com.
Hey, this is Mike Bagley. Join me along with the cast and crew of the Motor Racing Network every Tuesday night for NASCAR Live. Hear exclusive interviews.
Waking up, coming back to Victory Lane, doing media spot. That's kind of when it really sunk in that, hey, we accomplished something great.
The best moments from each of NASCAR's premier series.
Chastain did a video game move, drove it, and never lifted.
As well as break down the upcoming race weekend and more. It's NASCAR Live every Tuesday night at 7 Eastern.
Here at Kansas Speedway, continuing to work caution. This is our third caution flag in the opening 21 laps of the race.
Right now, average speed here so far through the first 21 laps is a ripping, 52 miles an hour? And I'm kidding. We don't keep track of that. Doesn't matter.
We're under the caution.
Off, though. Yeah, I know. It's Allgaier, Cole Custer. We have yet to see a long run. John Hunter Nemechek, Sammy Smith, Brandon Jones. Top 5. Let's get an update from Steve Post on Sam Mayer.
Yeah, Sam Mayer sits aboard the wheel, sits aboard this race car, but they ain't going anywhere quickly. Well, they are going to go somewhere. They're trying to get wheels on the car, tires on the car, so he can drive it to the garage area. They're done for the day. There's all kinds of damage on the right front. As a matter of fact, Sam is now pulling the car out, making that left-hand turn, and there he goes, back into the garage area. Sam Mayer done for the day after that contact there on the front stretch.
Well, he'll make his way back there to the NASCAR Xfinity Series garage, which is now beginning to get some drivers back there. There are 4 cars that are back there in the Xfinity Series garage already as we continue to work here under the caution flag, our third to get this race underway. Here's a look at the top 10 as we sit 22 laps in. Justin Allgaier is the leader. Cole Custer is second. John Hunter Nemechek is third. Sammy Smith is fourth, and Brandon Jones fifth. Sixth is Josh Berry. Seventh is Daniel Hemrick. Eighth is Sheldon Creed. Ninth is Parker Kligerman. And 10th is Ryan Sieg.
Let's talk a minute about Sam Mayer. He was absolutely red hot. Hottest driver in the garage, at least for the NASCAR Xfinity Series, ripping off a win at Road America. That was career win number 1. Backed it up with a top 5 finish at Michigan. Went runner-up on the road course at Indy. Won again at Watkins Glen. Man, he's got everything rolling. Well, then he went 19th at Daytona. Finished just outside of the top 10 a week ago in Darlington. And now this. And you're trying to build momentum when you're racing for a championship. They're kind of going the wrong way.
They are. That's something these teams, they can downplay it and say it doesn't necessarily matter. It's what, we look at next week. Well, you know what? You got to know where you came from to know where you're going. And where they're coming from right now is a bunch of bad finishes in a row. And quite frankly, not very good efforts as far as final results go. So that all being said, they can certainly turn things around once the playoffs start next week at the Bristol Motor Speedway. But they are going to have to change the mindset of that race team right now, because it would be easy to get down in the dumps. Come down to the line. We're going to stay under the caution flag. So we'll step away and pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Motor Racing Network. Motor Racing Network live at Kansas Speedway as the NASCAR Xfinity Series is running the Kansas Lottery 300. I'm Alex Hayden. Alongside is Jeff Striegel. Dave Moody's out in turns 1 and 2. Mike Bagley has the backstretch, turns 3 and 4 covered. And up and down the pit lane are Steve Post and Chris Wilner.
And Justin Allgaier, if you're just joining us, has led all 23 of the laps. He will soon lead 24 because we are under the caution flag, working the third one of the afternoon. Longest green flag run, 8 laps. Total caution flags, 3. Total caution laps, 14 and growing, Alex.
That means we've run more laps under caution now than we have green flag. We've only run 10 green flag laps in today's race to this point. So a rather halting start to this Kansas Lottery 300.
We're also keeping an eye on, and maybe Mike, I know I'm coming to you late on this one, but if you could take a look at Sheldon Creed's bright red number 2 car, there was some concern about the rear bumper cover on that Chevrolet that may have loosened up.
It looks like that the bumper cover is still intact. That is what triggered the most recent caution when Sam Mayer got turned around. Sheldon Creed bounced off the wall into Mayer, got Mayer all crossed up, and then, of course, we've documented the rest of that. It looks like that bumper cover is in place. Doesn't seem to be flapping in the breeze as of right now.
And we get to choose one more time, and Allgaier yet again chooses the outside lane. But there is an orange V. How they do this, there's an orange V painted in the middle of the racetrack past start-finish line. Inside that V on the turn 1 side is a painted orange square. By rule, you cannot run over that square whatsoever, or you'll be penalized and have to go to the tail end of the field. So you have to make your choice going left or right of the V. I got to tell you, Allgaier every time is becoming dangerously close to running over that box. He is waiting to the very last second to make his choice.
He was not alone. Ryan Sieg did a 90-degree turn to the right and a 90-degree turn to the left to keep from running over the orange V, painted right there in the middle of the racetrack. All right, Alex, you ready? Let's try this one more time. We're getting ready for a Geico restart presented by Geico. Switch to Geico today to see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com to get a rate quote and get started seeing how much you could save.
Well, the drivers are figuring out what they can do on restarts because we've had plenty of them, but they're not real sure, I don't think, what their cars are going to do balance-wise when we stay under green flag with, to your point, Jeff, 8 laps being our longest green flag run of the day.
25 down, 20 to go in stage number 1. Let's see if we can log some green flag laps here at the Kansas Speedway. Allgaier on the outside, Cole Custer on the inside, green lights back on, we're back underway. John Hunter Nemechek right behind Justin Allgaier as they head to 1.
Good initial jump for the little gator, Justin Allgaier, but Cole Custer's right back at him in that low lane. They are wheel to wheel for the lead off the top of turn 2.
Now Allgaier gets the advantage to the back straightaway. Cole Custer, though, will burst alongside him. They continue in side-by-side formation. Custer on the bottom, Allgaier right down the middle of the banking.
Oh, Custer slips in the middle of turn 4. That's going to leave the bottom wide open for John Hunter Nemechek. He'll go to the inside of the racetrack, and those two will tussle it out for the second spot.
Allgaier quickly away by 4 car lengths with the lead. Custer's going to have to fight for second, and it's not going to be a lengthy fight. John Hunter Nemechek slides underneath him, slides back up the banking. Nemechek to second.
Yeah, slid way up the racetrack. Lost a little momentum there. That allows Allgaier to get away by 4. Now it's Nemechek at the second position, and behind him they're side by side for third.
Restarts are insane. If you don't have the momentum, you are going backwards. Josh Berry lost at least 8 spots in 1 lap. Let's pick up that battle from second on back.
Cole Custer rides in the number 3 position. He's about 3 car lengths behind John Hunter Nemechek. He's got a trunk full of Sammy Smith. Daniel Hemrick is on the move further back.
And that is the battle for 4th. Make that the battle for the number 5 position. Brandon Jones has it. Here's Hemrick at the entrance to 3. He'll line up the low lane and get the advantage on quarter entry.
And that'll mean, since we took the green flag, Daniel Hemrick is officially a playoff driver for the year 2023. Brandon Jones, he's going to have to win today's race. Right now, he's got himself inside the top 10.
Trying to rebound and take that spot back from Daniel Hemrick. He'll go all the way to the top of the racetrack, just a couple of feet off the safety barrier, trying to find some momentum.
While those leaders thin things out towards the front, one driver having a problem and losing ground is Josh Berry. He is almost in mid-pack territory. He's being bypassed right now by Riley Herbst on the top of the banking in turn 3.
Let's go back and revisit that for a moment, Alex Hayden. He's down 9 in just a matter of, 3 laps? when we went back under the green flag. It is all about momentum. What lane you pick, are they rolling in front of you? If you've got to bail out of the throttle, you go backwards in a hurry, and that's what happened to Josh Berry.
Yeah, he did. He lost 8 positions in just the opening lap of this restart back on lap number 24. Off turn 2, he just kind of had to roll out of the gas, to your point, and got bypassed inside lane and outside lane, and he's found himself mid-pack now. As a matter of fact, he's lost touch with the Riley Herbst car, so I'm not sure. That car clearly not handling the way he would like for it to. It doesn't have the speed, at least here early on.
Right now he is running in position 16 behind Riley Herbst and in front of Connor Mosack. And by the way, Connor picked up the win here yesterday evening in the ARCA Menard Series. Congratulations to him. They are working side by side for position number 5 off the corner.
Here comes Brandon Jones. Outside lane will prevail, and he'll take over that position from Daniel Hemrick and grab the spot back. Now, if you're a Chandler Smith fan, they've changed all the spark plugs on the engine that was running afoul early in the race. Going to get him back on the racetrack to try to salvage something out of the day.
Down 13 laps. So all they want to do is spend the afternoon here learning. That makes for a long afternoon for sure. A couple of drivers over there in front of you, Mike, at your feet, running side by side.
Yeah, you've got Daniel Hemrick there. You got Parker Kligerman there. You also got Sheldon Creed in formation off the corner.
One of the main storylines, if not the number one storyline coming into the race, was between Riley Herbst and Parker Kligerman. This being the last race of the regular season. Those two drivers separated by 1 point or 1 position on the racetrack, with Riley Herbst being on the good side of the 1 point. Right now, as they run, Parker Kligerman 14 points up on Riley Herbst.
And that battle for the regular season championship among the 3 drivers, Justin Allgaier with the lead, John Hunter Nemechek second, and Austin Hill right now is 6th. Talking about the lead, the battle for that is in turn 1.
Justin Allgaier's got it. He maintains about a 3 to 4 car length advantage over John Hunter Nemechek. Another 7 or 8 back to Cole Custer, who rides 3rd.
Front 3 have checked out mightily over Sammy Smith, who rides in 4th. And Sammy's starting to have a little company. Brandon Jones, after wrestling for a spot or 2 with Daniel Hemrick and others, he is closed on the back bumper of the Sammy Smith Toyota.
He has. Let's see if he can do anything with Sammy as they exit turn number 4. For the moment, Brandon Jones seems content to at least ride right in the tire tracks as the fight for 4th goes off to the corner.
I'm kind of keeping an eye on the Daniel Hemrick automobile as well. He was up there in the top 5 just a moment ago. He's lost a good 200 to 250 yards on that battle. That car just is not up to full song. Now he absolutely is off the pace, running very slowly on the inside of the back stretch.
Daniel Hemrick will pull that Chevy to the bottom of the back straightaway. Everyone is passing him. We talked about Josh Berry's problems. Those still continue. But now Daniel Hemrick will join that club. And as he comes by us here, the engine is popping and cracking, and he is headed downstairs. Thought he was going to go to pit road, but he's going to stay on the racetrack.
Boy, how big is this? Let's go back and remind everybody, all he had to do was start to advance. He made it 34 laps with it starting, but I'm not so sure he's going to advance very much further here this afternoon.
I think the other issue is this is the second Colleague Racing Chevrolet to have some sort of a mechanical problem. Remember, Chandler Smith had to go to the garage and replace all the spark plugs. They're hoping that took care of the problem. He's coming back out on the track now, but the second Colleague Chevrolet with problems under the hood of their race car.
Boy, that is a big blow to that organization. That's not what they needed at all. Chandler down 13 and Daniel Hemrick down and out and headed on to pit road. We are working lap number 37, 8 laps to go in the stage. The top 5 at the moment, Justin Allgaier. He's led all 37. He's leading right now in front of John Hunter Nemechek, Cole Custer, and that good battle, Alex, between Brandon Jones and Sammy Smith.
Continues to be fantastic as they make their way up off the corner. Watching pit lane down here, We talked to Daniel Hemrick in the pre-race show, and Jeff, he said one of the things he's worried about since they switched car numbers is getting into his pit box.
And he just missed it. And let's go downstairs, Steve Post. This is just got to be agonizing for Daniel Hemrick.
Yeah, no doubt it is. He did miss his pit box. Derek Kraus is driving that car. He's about 5 pit boxes beyond where Daniel Hemrick is. Hemrick rolled in. Compounding the problem is the lights are out on that car. They feel like the problem is the electrical, and they're changing the battery on it. So they're going to change the battery, hope they get some fire under the car. But rough exchange for Daniel Hemrick. But here he is in his pit box. The battery on these cars right in front of the left wheel, and that's where the crew is focusing their energy right now to put a new battery in that car, hoping it'll come back to life.
Now an update on his teammate Chandler Smith, who was behind the wall and in the garage, changed all the spark plugs. He is up to speed, so that seems to be the cure for that car, at least for the moment, as his teammate Daniel Hemrick continues to sit on the pit lane. You mentioned Derek Kraus. He's the third Kaulig racing car. He's still running inside the top 10 in the number 9 position.
And Mike Bagley, John Hunter Nemechek, lap after lap after lap, just reeling in the leader, Justin Allgaier.
It's been pretty fun to watch that, Jeff, because once John Hunter got to second, he obviously had some work to do to catch Little Gator. Well, lap after lap, slowly but surely, he's starting to chip in to the lead that Allgaier has. And I've noticed that it's happening off the end of the back straightaway and into turn 3. That's where they are right now. And John Hunter has shut it down to less than a car length. John Hunter is there. Allgaier's loose up the racetrack. He'll chase the car. Here's John Hunter looking low and looking for the lead.
Lap traffic in the form of C.J. McLaughlin right in front of them. Nemechek goes to the bottom. That's where the lap car is. Allgaier's going to keep him pinned down there as they race to 1.
Nemechek squeezes him up and makes some daylight to go up the middle. He will take the lead over Justin Allgaier. The handle has gone away on the Allgaier Chevrolet. It is wrecking loose coming off all 4 corners.
And it's doing the same thing here in turn number 3. Nemechek with the lead. Here's Allgaier. He's going to jam it in. The car's sliding. He'll slide it up the racetrack. He'll hang on to it. But now Cole Custer is here. He wants second.
This is a good 3-car battle to wrap up stage number 1. Out front, John Hunter Nemechek. Battle for second between Custer and Allgaier.
Cole Custer steps to the high line. Allgaier with no choice but to run down low, which will only complicate that loose condition. Custer around the outside, runs and guns for second place.
Justin Allgaier just manhandling that Chevy Camaro right now. He's lost the lead. He's lost a second. Now this time through, he'll just float it into turn number 3, trying to keep that car underneath him.
It's more important to get to the black and white checkered flag at lap 200 than the green and white checkered flag at lap number 45. We're down to 2 laps to go in the stage. The leader's in 1.
John Hunter Nemechek with about a 4-car length advantage now over Cole Custer. 3 more back to Allgaier. A heavy bunch of lap traffic dead ahead. Garrett Smithley first in line.
Leaders off the end of the back straightaway have reached the tail end of the field. Which lane will John Hunter Nemechek use? He'll go all the way to the top of the racetrack, skimming the wall through 3 and 4, now encountering that lap traffic.
1 to go in stage number 1. John Hunter Nemechek at the front of the field, then Cole Custer, then Justin Allgaier, then Brandon Jones and Sammy Smith. That's your top 5.
He'll go to the outside of the Blaine Perkins machine now, put Perkins a lap down while maintaining that 3, maybe 4-car length advantage over Custer.
And Cole Custer has legged it out now about 10, maybe 12 car lengths on Justin Allgaier, whose car is fading mightily as they come off the corner. Everybody in hot pursuit of John Hunter Nemechek.
Nemechek up off turn number 4. Cole Custer gets a good run on him here as they make their way down to the green and white checkered flag. Stage number 1 comes to an end, and John Hunter Nemechek will indeed hang on to win the stage. Cole Custer will finish the stage in 2nd. Justin Allgaier will be 3rd. Brandon Jones will be 4th. Sammy Smith 5th. Austin Hill will lose 6th at the line. Parker Kligerman is up to 6th. Austin Hill will be 7th. Sheldon Creed 8th. Riley Herbst 9th. And 10th is Derek Kraus.
That is a look at the top 10 to wrap up stage number 1. John Hunter Nemechek picking up the stage win. That look at the top 10 presented by Powerball. Chase the Powerball jackpot anytime with drawings every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. Powerball, the official lottery game of NASCAR and home to the NASCAR Powerball Playoff.
Sir, are you aware you were going 40 miles an hour? This is a residential area.
Sure, but I'm on my lawnmower? Wait, am I getting a ticket?
No, I've just never seen anyone top 9 miles an hour on one of those bad boys. And mow their entire lawn in 30 seconds? What got into you?
Well, it did fuel up at Sunoco this morning.
At Sunoco, we know how to fuel peak performance. We've been doing it for American racing for over 50 years. Fuel your best.
Welcome to Homestead Miami Speedway, where the sun and sand of South Beach meet the heat of NASCAR playoffs action. An Xfinity and Truck Series doubleheader on Saturday, a Cup Series playoff showdown on Sunday, and a South Florida fiesta all weekend long. Experience NASCAR Playoffs weekend at Homestead Miami Speedway, October 21st and 22nd. Get your tickets now at homesteadmiamispeedway.com.
Pit road remains closed this time by. From Kansas Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Whelen Engineering, a global leader in the emergency warning industry, designs and manufactures reliable and powerful warning lights, white illumination lighting, sirens, controllers, and warning systems for the automotive, aviation, and mass notification industries worldwide. Whelen products are designed, sourced, and manufactured in America and tested on site to meet the toughest industry standards. Whelen Engineering, manufactured in America for over 70 years. We never left, and we're here to stay.
This is Steve Post. If you love sprint cars, you'll love Wing Nation. Join World of Outlaw winner Aaron Evernham and me every Tuesday at noon Eastern Time on Motor Racing Networks and Wing Nation's Facebook pages. We go live with the weekend's winners and newsmakers from around the country each and every week. You can also find the podcast of all past shows on YouTube or subscribe to the podcast on any of your favorite podcast providers. Wing Nation, all sprint cars, all the time.
Here at Kansas Speedway, the pace car has the field in tow over on the back straightaway. Pit lane will open up this time by as the green light illuminates down there to drivers left at the entrance to pit road. Fully expect everybody to be in.
You got 30 cars right now on the lead lap. Blaine Perkins, I believe, will pick up the free pass. John Hunter Nemechek, Cole Custer, Allgaier, Brandon Jones, Sammy Smith, everybody lining up at the bottom of the racetrack. So get ready, Chris Wilner. Get ready, Steve Post. Pit road is open, and Chris, here they come.
Absolutely, Jeff. And for Cole Custer, said it started out free, but then started getting tight on exit. They're going to make a slight chassis adjustment to free him up, center off. But so far, so good for Cole Custer. It'll be a 4-tire stop, Sunoco fuel. Brandon Jones is in. Solid top 5 run so far. Says he's tight as well. They're going to make an air pressure adjustment, 4 tires and fuel. Parker Kligerman coming in. Always we mentioned Brandon Jones. And you also have Sammy Smith, who said, I feel like I was dragging the splitter. They're going to make a chassis adjustment, 4 tires and fuel. Steve Post.
Riley Herbst, really good on the long run, really bad on the short run. Kevin Restivo, the crew chief, going to make adjustments so they don't lose much and hope for a long run. Here's the race off from pit road, and the race off from pit road is won by Cole Custer with John Hunter Nemechek, Justin Allgaier, Sammy Smith, and it looks like Brandon Jones out as well. Austin Hill very tight in the center of the corner. They made a chassis adjustment. John Hunter Nemechek, no adjustments on that car. Justin Allgaier, just a little bit free in, minor adjustments there. Pit stops, lap number 48, end of stage number 1.
So that's how they came off the pit lane. Cole Custer will pick up the race lead. Justin Allgaier did, in fact, hold serve, came in third, exited pit lane in the third spot. Biggest mover, though, was Josh Berry. His pit crew gained 3 positions to get him back inside the top 10.
So far, now with 48 complete, Justin Allgaier led the first 40. John Hunter Nemechek led the final 8, coming to the green and white checkered flag. But it's Cole Custer, after the pit stops, that's out front.
Blue Green Vacations, the official vacation ownership provider of NASCAR, invites you to believe in the power of vacation. With Blue Green, you can create the vacation that fits your lifestyle, sharing a lifetime of memories at a collection of unique, locally inspired resorts and popular destinations across the U.S. Blue Green owners also enjoy exclusive access to VIP NASCAR packages that deliver the thrill only NASCAR can provide. Start your vacation journey today at bluegreenvacations.com.
Looking for motorsports podcasts you won't find anywhere else? Check out the Motor Racing Network's lineup of exclusive podcasts. MRN Classic Races, Junior's Journey, The Many Hats of Jack Roush, Richard Petty, Road to Royalty, 50 Years of MRN, Jeff Gordon, A Colorful Career, and The Tough Trucks of NASCAR. Find these and more MRN exclusive podcasts on podcast providers and MRN.com.
Stage 2, green flag coming up shortly. Custer, Nemechek, Allgaier, Sammy Smith, Brandon Jones, top 5 from Kansas Speedway. This is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
You'll have to see it to believe it. Whoever said that must have been talking about Talladega. It's a place where chaos mixes with speed, and a playoffs weekend becomes a lifetime of memories. It's a tradition like no other, at a track like no other. And after it's all over, you still won't believe it ever happened. NASCAR Playoffs Weekend at Talladega, September 30th through October 1st. Get your tickets now at TalladegaSuperspeedway.com.
NASCAR's next generation of stars drive in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
And here they come. Zane Smith now will try to advance his way to the lead.
Catch the excitement of every race right here.
NASCAR has made it official. Zane Smith is a back-to-back winner at the Daytona International Speedway in the opener.
On the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Getting ready to go back under the green flag. It will happen on lap 51. Lights out on the pace car. Stage 1 done. John Hunter Nemechek picking up the stage win over Custer and Allgaier. Brandon Jones and Sammy Smith. And a nice job on pit road has put Cole Custer at the front of the field for the restart again on lap 51.
Our third different leader to lead so far today in the opening 50 laps of the race. Justin Allgaier's led the most, 40 laps. John Hunter Nemechek led 8 circuits. Cole Custer has now led 3 laps. This will be his third one coming to the Geico Restart Zone, which is presented by Geico. Switch to Geico today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com to get a rate quote and get started seeing how much you could save.
50 down, 150 to go. Still a long way to go. We'll take the green flag on lap 51. We'll take you all the way now to lap number 90, and that will complete stage number 2. So Cole Custer ready to go. To his outside is John Hunter Nemechek.
Here they come up off turn number 4. Pace car gets to pit lane, and the field will hit the Geico Restart Zone, and the green flag goes back in the air. Cole Custer through the gearbox. Looks to the left. John Hunter Nemechek matching him stride for stride.
Nemechek getting a big kick in the seat of the pants from Sammy Smith. That's going to push him, at least for the moment, into the lead. Sheldon Creed looking 3 wide to the outside. Back around the number 5 spot.
Leaders exit turn 2 onto the back straightaway. Nemechek, Custer, Allgaier away the top 3. Battle up for contention is for 4th. Brandon Jones has got company. Sammy Smith tries to open up the inside lane there.
Sammy on the inside, Brandon on the outside, and Sammy will tuck in line and follow. Now right behind Sammy Smith, and here's a big story, Dave. It is Parker Kligerman.
PK is on the run. He's up to the number 6 position. He's about 4 or 5 spots ahead of Riley Hurt as he settles into that number 6 spot.
Behind Parker Kligerman, side by side. Teammates, Austin Hill to the inside of Sheldon Creed. And then behind them, Josh Berry trying to make a pass on the Riley Herbst car.
He is, as he looks to the inside. He'll clear Riley Herbst up off of turn number 4. Nowhere to go for Josh Berry at the moment because those 2 RCR Chevrolets are side by side.
They are indeed, and further up there's a side-by-side battle for 2nd and 3rd. Justin Allgaier takes it to the bottom lane. He goes after Cole Custer, trying to slide up across his nose, doesn't have the real estate.
Still wheel to wheel up the back straightaway. All that racing for 2nd is allowing John Hunter Nemechek to get away by 10. Here's Allgaier, dives it in deep on the inside of Custer into 3. He'll grab the spot in 4.
That is a good 5-car battle for 2nd on back. Allgaier, Custer, Sammy Smith, Brandon Jones, and Parker Kligerman
Kligerman not resting on his laurels right now in the number 6 position. He is using up the Brandon Jones machine. He goes right down to the very bottom of the racetrack, not close enough to pull off the pass.
1 lap ago, Cole Custer lost second. He's about to lose third to Sammy Smith. Then you get back to that Brandon Jones, Parker Kligerman battle that continues to heat up.
Sammy Smith on the bottom of turn 4 slips just a bit. That'll enable Cole Custer to maintain the number 3 position as they flash by the start-finish line.
We are right now working in the midst of the Kansas Lottery 300. It's been a good one so far. At the moment, it is John Hunter Nemechek out front over Justin Allgaier, then Cole Custer, Sammy Smith, and Brandon Jones. That is your top 5. Parker Kligerman doing what he needs to do, at least at the moment, and that is ride 6th. If everything stays the same, he'll race for a championship beginning next week. Sheldon Creed and Josh Berry go 7 and 8. Riley Herbst trying to run down Parker Kligerman. Right now he is 9th, and he's doing that right in front of Austin Hill. That's your top 10.
As we race the Kansas Lottery 300, privileged to welcome to the broadcast booth Steve Durrell, Executive Director of the Kansas Lottery. Back with us again, Kansas Speedway, Kansas Lottery. It's a perfect fit, isn't it?
Sure is, gentlemen. How are you? It's good to see you both. We are just honored to be proud sponsors of this race and other races here at the Speedway, and we've been longtime partners, and it's been a great relationship. We love it.
It certainly has been a fantastic relationship. Now, Kansas Lottery customers, a lot of them sports fans, obviously. That's why we're here, NASCAR fans. Then we've got all the NCAA fans with all the colleges in and around the state of Kansas. But what about the world champion Kansas City Chiefs? How does that come into play?
Well, we're proud to offer a Kansas City Chiefs ticket again this year. It's one of our best sellers right now. It's a fantastic set of prizes available for winners, and second chance prizes this year. We're sending folks to some away games, and we're also, as you know, the Chiefs are going to play the Dolphins in Germany, so we're sending some folks to Frankfurt to see it there.
You want to go there, don't you?
I do. I'm a Dolphin guy. And by the way, Jeff and Ryan, our producer, are
Hi.
Detroit Lion guys from Michigan, so...
Yeah,
we were there.
No, it wasn't at the game on Thursday. It was quite a game though, and the Lions certainly played terrific football. That's for sure.
Now let's talk a little bit more about this with the promotion with the Kansas City Chiefs. What do you think about this? Is making your customers so crazy about wanting these tickets?
Well, I think it's just the fact that it's the Chiefs. They're obviously the most popular local team around right now, and then of course being world champions doesn't hurt either. And just the prizes and the prize packs and everything else that go with it just are really, really terrific.
Trouble in turn 2. Cole Custer is in the wall. The Haas automation machine slipping up the banking in turn number 1. Rides the safer barrier all the way to the back straightaway.
That will put us under the caution flag. 5th time here this afternoon. Lap 59. Cole Custer in the fence just outside of turn number 2. A quick look at the top 5 under caution. John Hunter Nemechek, he had heavy-duty company. Justin Allgaier all over him. That was the battle for the lead. Custer was 3rd when he hit the wall. Sammy Smith now 3rd. Brandon Jones now 4th. And Parker Kligerman up to 5th.
We'll continue our chat here since we got an extra moment or two now with Steve Durrell, Executive Director of the Kansas Lottery, as we race the Kansas Lottery 300. Let's talk about some new games with the Kansas Lottery that's going on. I'm hearing an awful lot about Rivalry Riches.
Rivalry Riches is a great new ticket that we've got. It's a $50,000 top prize. It features both of our Kansas University and K-State University mascots, and it's been fantastic. It's, again, one of our top sellers right now, and you look down on the track and you see an NIL car with the Kansas Jayhawks folks on it, and they were our starters for today's race. And then, of course, you see a K-State car down there as well. We have a great relationship with all our universities and are proud to sponsor both KU and K-State this year.
What is it about Kansas Speedway and Kansas Lottery that makes this relationship so good?
Well, it's interesting. The lottery's money a lot of it goes to economic development. And so some of the first monies that were put into the development over here at Speedway and at Legends was lottery development money. So we've been partners with the Speedway, as Pat Warren said this afternoon, before we even won shovel of dirt was turned over here. So we've continued to be partners from the very beginning, and we just have a really good relationship with them.
Well, we can't thank you and your entire team enough at Kansas Lottery for being partners with Kansas Speedway and NASCAR and putting on another fantastic race weekend. Thank you.
Well, we appreciate you guys bringing the really nice weather. That's the beauty of having a good race day. It's great weather and great fans are out watching the race today. And of course, you guys are doing a fantastic job as always. So we appreciate that.
Very kind of you. All the best, and thanks again.
Thanks, guys. Have a great rest of the race.
Steve Durrell, Executive Director of the Kansas Lottery.
And if you could just whisper in my ear the numbers that I need to select prior to the drawing, that would be appreciated.
Well, Powerball is pretty good. It's pretty high tonight. It's almost 500 million, of course. But then we also have our Holiday Millionaire raffle, which is going on. We've been selling for a week. So those are both some great odds for games.
I never play it unless it's 600 million or better, though, Alex.
Well, but you can buy a lot of pizza for your parties on that one.
I can. All right, so here's the deal. This is what happened. Jeremy Clements apparently had a tire come apart. The carcass ended up on the racetrack. We went caution for debris, not for Cole Custer. The caution was actually for debris on the racetrack. That debris, though, right in front of Cole Custer. He hit the tire carcass, up the racetrack he went, and into the fence. We're under caution, lap 61. John Hunter Nemechek out front.
Will they find a home? Sponsored by Geico. Sarah wants a yard. My own little paradise. Brad, however, hates yard work.
The only thing I hate more than cutting the grass is paying someone to cut the grass.
Compromise is tough, but these two won't have to compromise when they bundle home and car insurance with Geico. It's easy, and they could save even more. In the end, Sarah and Brad found a great home with a yard. A very, very small yard.
Time to get it done. And I'm done.
Bundling without compromise at geico.com.
MRN Classic Races.
The race to the Daytona 500 victory at the stripe. Kevin Harvick gets it by inches.
Covering over 50 years of NASCAR racing on the Motor Racing Network.
World 600. Richard Petty, career win number 170.
This is going to be close. They lean on one another. Ricky Craven gets the win, and they continue the crash headed up into turn one.
Craven pounds the wall. Kurt Busch right back at him.
MRN Classic Races available on your favorite podcast platform.
All right, so we told you what happened to Cole Custer. Now, what about the car and the race team? Chris, what's the latest?
It's not good, Jeff. The right front control arm has broken on that Ford Mustang. So unfortunately for Cole Custer, he has already taken his race car back to the garage. He will make the mandatory trip to the care center. We'll try to catch up with him there. But unfortunately, the damage is too much. He originally came on the radio and said, just change the right front. I think the toe is fine. But they popped the hood up and saw the control arm was broken. They said, we'd lose a right front if we tried to roll around another 15 laps. So the decision was made to call it quits. A tough break for Cole Custer, running over debris just as the caution came out.
In his Xfinity Series career, Kansas Speedway is the only track he's never had a top 10 finish, and Cole Custer will not get one today. From Kansas Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. My grandpa Lou is the reason why my dad and I started racing, and I'm really proud to follow in his tracks. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. I've learned a lot on this journey with my grandpa Lou, and the memories of my grandpa will always be with me. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Talking about Alzheimer's can be really tough, but if you notice something, have a conversation with your loved one. Encourage them to see a doctor or offer to go with them. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. The Alzheimer's Association provides care, support, and research to help you take control of the situation with your family and manage the disease together. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Back here at Kansas Speedway, the field is lined up double wide as they work their way into turns 3 and 4, making their way to the Geico restart zone.
Cannot wait. Let's put them back under the green flag. It'll come out on lap 64. We've had 5 caution flags today for 23 laps. And unfortunately for Cole Custer, his day is going to come to an end after hitting the debris out on the racetrack. John Hunter Nemechek, Justin Allgaier, Alex Hayden, ready to go.
Here they come to the Geico restart zone. Nemechek, the control car in the outside lane, jumps on the throttle. He'll go through the gearbox. He's got a teammate and Sammy Smith behind him. Oh, behind them, Parker Kligerman doesn't come up to speed. He gets hit in the left rear by Riley Herbst, but they get away with it.
Somehow everybody gets away. No, Riley Herbst is in trouble. He's got a tire down on the right front corner. Goes all the way up to the wall and takes Josh Williams to the back of the pack with him.
Riley Herbst all the way at the tail end of the field, off the pace and down to the inside as John Hunter Nemechek leads back to 3.
And of course, Riley trying to race for an opportunity to get into the playoffs and race for a championship. We'll follow up with him in that pit area in just a moment. Battle for the lead, back in 1.
The ultimate in irony, it was Parker Kligerman not coming up to speed that caused the jam up, that caused the problem for Riley Herbst. Kligerman and Herbst racing for a spot in the playoffs.
Leaders off the end of the back straightaway. John Hunter away with the lead. You got Allgaier in second. Heavy-duty pressure behind him from Sammy Smith with Brandon Jones and Josh Berry rounding out the top 5.
While they race for the lead, Riley Herbst limps down the pit lane in front of Steve Post.
Yes, indeed. Riley Herbst is in. The damage is on the right front of his Ford Mustang. They actually believe the tire might still. Now, the tire looks like it is down as they take it off the race car. But the right front damage, crew member runs around, gets a mallet. Got to go up under the fender and start whacking away at that fender to get it up off from the tire. So tough break for Riley Herbst. Drop the jack. They're still working, massaging on the right front fender of the car just to make sure they have good clearance. And now Riley Herbst is down and away.
3-car battle for the lead, making its way up and off turn number 4. John Hunter's got it. Justin Allgaier right there. And the young man running third, that is Sammy Smith.
Very aggressive third place run right now for Sammy Smith. He's been all over Justin Allgaier. He's got a good run going on the very bottom of the racetrack and is able to carry speed to the backstretch.
Right now we're watching John Hunter Nemechek, Justin Allgaier, and Sammy Smith. The front 3 pull away. Good battle shaping up for 4th. Brandon Jones, Josh Berry there with Sheldon Creed and Austin Hill looking on.
Riley Herbst getting back up to speed over in turn number 3. He's lost 2 laps to current race leader John Hunter Nemechek. Nemechek looks in the mirror and sees the Brant Red Chevrolet closing in.
Justin Allgaier only a car length back. He's running about a groove lower on the racetrack as John Hunter Nemechek skirts the safer barrier off turn 2.
Right now he's pulled away by 3 car lengths over Justin Allgaier. 2 back to Sammy Smith, and then you get 10 car lengths back to Brandon Jones in 4th. Here's Allgaier going to look down the middle of the racetrack. Sammy Smith trying to open up the inside lane.
Yeah, Justin Allgaier looking to the inside, trying to attack John Hunter Nemechek, and when he does that, Sammy goes even lower and tries to pull alongside Allgaier. Top 3, nose to tail.
Allgaier's got his hands full, trying to go on attack and take the lead away from John Hunter Nemechek, while at the same time playing defense against a very aggressive Sammy Smith.
Sammy Smith, though, fading a tad, maybe a car length or 2 out of turn 2. They will spread out equally now as Allgaier, a tad loose coming into the corner, again looks down to the inside of Nemechek.
Nothing there, though. Drifts back up the racetrack, falls in line of the tire tracks of the race leader. Further back, Riley Herbst 2 laps down on the newer Goodyear Eagle tires. He's going to pull right up beside Parker Kligerman.
He'll dive down to the inside, going into turn number 1. Kligerman goes all the way to the top. Herbst on the new rubber, able to turn a much faster corner on the inside.
Parker running in the 8th position right now, being bypassed by the lap car of Riley Herbst behind Kligerman. Here comes the Brett Moffitt automobile and Derek Kraus there as well.
Riley Herbst maybe the fastest car on the racetrack right now, but Alex Hayden, like you pointed out, 2 laps down on contact right here at the start-finish line. Jeb Burton getting moved out of the way by Ryan Sieg. Jeb able to hold on. Ryan drives away from that off of turn number 4. Interesting that it was Parker Kligerman and Riley Herbst that got together, not intentionally, but man, oh man, it has put Riley in a big-time hole.
In the tone of 29 points now, Riley Herbst out of the playoff picture. but there is still some damage to the left rear corner of that orange and white car of Parker Kligerman. He just simply didn't come up to speed. Maybe he spun the tires. Not sure what happened on the restart. Everybody scattered, but Riley Herbst came closing in and had no time to react to get out of the way and hit the left rear of the Kligerman car with the right front corner, which subsequently sent Riley Herbst to the pit lane and now 2 laps down.
Sheldon Creed actually got into the back of Parker when Parker did not come up to speed. Then Sheldon got away. Well, the next car that was in line, Riley, who was coming up to speed, and he had nowhere to go, made slight contact, but enough to cut down a tire. Right now we are working lap number 74, next time by. 16 to go in the stage, and John Hunter Nemechek, Mike Bagley, has pulled away just a bit.
Yeah, he has checked out big time over Allgaier. About 10, maybe 12 car lengths separate first from second.
John Hunter Nemechek, no stranger to leading at Kansas Speedway. Oh, trouble off turn 4. Another driver that needs to win to get in. Brandon Jones goes for a spin all by himself. He's going to slide through the bright green grass and across the painted logos. He'll grab a gear and try to pull away, but that's going to put us under the caution flag for the 6th time in the race with 16 laps to go in stage number 2.
And now Martha Stewart for Skechers. When I make a dish or embark on a craft project, I always use the finest, most fabulous ingredients and materials. Which is why, when it comes to footwear, I love Skechers. Because Skechers is the comfort technology company and uses the most luxurious, innovative materials and designs to make wondrously comfortable footwear with all the fits and features like Arch Fit and Skechers' world-famous air-cooled memory foam. It's exactly the way I'd make shoes.
Find Skechers at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
AM radio provides always-on news, sports, talk, traffic, and weather reports. It also delivers vital emergency information when your community needs it most. A new bill in Congress would ensure AM radio stays in your car, because when cell and internet services are down, this free emergency service is critical. Text AM to 52886 and tell Congress to support the AM Radio for Every Vehicle Act.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to stop.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
75 laps complete, 15 to go in stage number 2. John Hunter Nemechek, the race leader, working our 6th caution flag of the race. This for the spin off turn 4 by Brandon Jones. He is going to make his way to pit road with the flat tires and get those changed immediately. From Kansas Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Hello, I'm Kate Levy. When I was just 10 years old, I lost my father Joe in the 9/11 attacks at the World Trade Center. He was a lieutenant in the New York City Fire Department. For 9/11 this year, now a National Day of Service, I'll be doing what my dad loved to do, helping others in need. Please join me by doing your own good deed that day. Visit 911day.org to learn more.
Jeff Gordon wins the Daytona 500.
Jeff Gordon's rise to one of NASCAR's all-time greatest drivers was one like no other. Relive Jeff Gordon's journey to the NASCAR Hall of Fame with the exclusive MRN podcast, Jeff Gordon, A Colorful Career. 93 Cup Series wins, 4 Cup Series championships, and 3 Daytona 500 wins. A career rivaled by few others. Check out MRN's Jeff Gordon, A Colorful Career on podcast platforms and MRN.com.
Back at Kansas Speedway, the beneficiary of the free pass on this caution is Jeremy Clements, and that purple and white Kansas State University Wildcat car is back on the lead lap.
John Hunter Nemechek on lap 76, and under caution is the race leader. That caution again came out. Brandon Jones spun off 4. The caution before that, if you remember, debris brought the caution out. Cole Custer working through the high banks in turns 1 and 2. Nowhere to go, hits the debris, pounds the outside wall. Let's hear from Cole Custer right now.
It's just been checked and released from the care center. Cole, piece of tire carcass is what did your guys' date today. Walk me through, you said you saw it about 2 car lengths ahead. Is that enough time to make evasive action?
No, yeah, it was like 2 car lengths ahead of me. I saw it, and I was like, oh, this ain't going to be good. So, just bad luck. I don't know, I don't know how long it was sitting out there, but just part of it, I guess, but I'm frustrated because we had such a fast car. That first stage we got it working on the wall pretty good, and I think we could have had a shot at competing for a win today. But I think our guys have been working really hard all year, and I think we found that little bit of speed that we've wanted. So I'm looking forward to the playoffs. We're going to be able to put a good fight up.
I was going to say, so you've got a lot of speed. I know the finish won't happen today, but a lot of momentum going into the playoffs. Is this where you guys feel like you need to be?
I think we're right there. I think obviously there's some different tracks we haven't run in the playoffs yet, but I think we're right there on speed. On our good days, we can compete with anybody out there.
All right, Cole Custer, his day cut short for a tire carcass, but he's okay. We'll move on to Bristol and start the playoffs.
We will indeed. Pit lane, by the way, is open. The lead lap cars all stayed on the track, but Steve Post, Riley Herbst has come back in.
Yeah, this caution allows him to massage on that right front. Davin Restivo is the crew chief on the car, and they decided to bring Riley's Monster Mustang down, and they're working now with those big pieces of high-speed duct tape to get a better aerodynamic blend on the front of that car. So they're just working on it now. Their laps down. They've got a long road to hoe, but they at least want to make sure the car is as sound as possible as they race through the final 123 laps of this one.
That's because we have 77 down. Steve's right. 77 down, 123, soon to be 122 remaining here this afternoon. It is the Kansas Lottery 300. Let's take a look at the leaderboard right now under this caution flag presented by Skechers. Skechers, the comfort and fit specialist. Try Skechers. Relax fit, wide fit, stretch fit, arch fit, and many more.
John Hunter Nemechek, the race leaders. We get the one to go. Justin Allgaier is second. Sammy Smith goes third, and Josh Berry fourth. Sheldon Creed was fifth. Sixth is Austin Hill. Seventh, Derek Kraus. Eighth, Parker Kligerman. Ninth, Brett Moffitt. And 10th is Kaz Gralla.
11 through 20, Parker Retzloff, Jeb Burton, Connor Mosack, Ryan Sieg 14th, followed by Joe Graff Jr. and Ryan Ellis. Rajah Caruth 17th, followed by Brennan Poole. Josh Williams and Mason Massey completes the top 20.
Matt Mills 21st, Kyle Sieg 22nd, and Blaine Perkins 23rd. Joey Gase is 24th, Garrett Smithley 25th, Dawson Cram 26th, Anthony Alfredo's 27th, Jeremy Clements 28th, Leland Honeyman 29th, and Brandon Jones is 30th.
CJ McLaughlin 31st. Before we put him back under the green flag, Riley Herbst is 2 laps down, and he's 32nd. Nick Light's 33rd. Chandler Smith several laps down. He is 34th. Now, here are the big names that are out early. Cole Custer out. He's done. Daniel Hemrick done. Sam Mayer went out on lap 20. And Kyle Weatherman went out just a lap before that on lap number 19.
So the field is making their way back through turns 3 and 4, headed back to the Geico restart zone to get this race resumed. That means there'll be 11 laps to go in stage number 2 and 11 laps for these drivers to try to get into the top 10 to get some points.
Top 2 came across the line and took to the high side. John Hunter Nemechek outside row 1. Justin Allgaier will line up right behind him on the inside of row 1. Sammy Smith right behind him. How about the rally back? Josh Berry. He's up to 4th. As we go back under the green flag, they're already going to go 3 wide, maybe 4. They head to turn number 1 side by side, but how about the battle for 3rd?
Austin Hill 3 wide to the bottom for 3rd place. Justin Allgaier, though, will barnstorm around the outside to hold him off for the moment.
Nemechek away with the lead. Smith to 2nd. Allgaier will grab 3rd. 4th is up for spotlight right now. Here's Hill to the inside of Berry. Sheldon Creed's also trying to get in the middle of that battle.
Brett Moffitt looking on as well, back in the number 7 spot. Allgaier's going to drive Austin Hill all the way to the grass here at the Tri-Oval. This is the side-by-side fight for 3rd.
Austin Hill's got the bottom of the racetrack. Allgaier running dead center in the middle of the banking, not far behind the Josh Berry machine. He's looking for leftovers.
Allgaier will swing wide out of 2. He'll keep 3rd. Berry around the outside of Hill. He'll go to 4th. Austin Hill now will claim the number 5 position after losing a spot or 2 in the backstretch.
Right behind that, you're going to go side by side. Brett Moffitt charging up the leaderboard. He was trying to pick off Sheldon Creed. Couldn't get it done. Good battle from 3rd on back. Right now, Allgaier is 3rd.
He's got a trunk trunk full of Josh Berry. Berry making his life miserable right now. Looking to the outside, trying to wedge his way through, but Allgaier won't give him the room.
Great battle for third. Great battle for the lead. Sammy Smith has not let John Hunter Nemechek get away. Both drivers will dial up the low lane of the racetrack. They're separated by a car length.
Sammy Smith, though, with that dirty air, couldn't get the grip and the downforce he needs. He's going to give up another couple of car lengths to the race leader, John Hunter Nemechek.
Nemechek by about 4 car lengths now into turn 1. About 10 back to, once again, a side-by-side battle for third. Josh Berry now will go to the inside on Justin Allgaier. The little gator holds him off up high.
Berry is strong down low, but Allgaier is stronger from the top of turn 2. And he just flexed that muscle right now to the backstretch. Allgaier will keep third. He'll pull away by 2 car lengths, but now Hill applies pressure to Berry.
You got 7 laps to go. Allgaier third, Berry fourth, and Austin Hill is fifth. Then you get back to Sheldon Creed. Behind him, Parker Kligerman. Behind that, they are side by side.
Down to the inside lane comes the Derek Kraus machine. He's going to move for at least the Mullins underneath the Brett Moffitt car. Moffitt trying to rally the troops up high, but he can't quite get there.
Yeah, Moffitt will stand pat on the back straightaway off the end of this back stretch. Moffitt's going to dial it up again to the inside of Derek Kraus. They continue their side-by-side battle.
See if Brett Moffitt can make it stick on the bottom of the racetrack off turn number 4. He does. Stay side by side with Derek Kraus. Wheel to wheel across the start-finish line. They continue this battle to turn 1.
Kraus has got that Colleague Racing Chevrolet wound up tight in the higher groove on the racetrack, keeping Brett Moffitt pinned to the bottom. Kraus now will pull away off 2.
Lots of momentum for Derek Kraus to the back straightaway. Matter of fact, so much momentum that he keeps the RPMs up and pulls away on the back stretch by 3 car lengths over Moffitt in the process.
We've got 5 to go in stage number 2 here at the Kansas Speedway. The NASCAR Xfinity Series in action. John Hunter Nemechek shows the way over Sammy Smith.
He's got the stage in hand if he can avoid any mistakes here down the stretch. He's got a good 6 or 7 car length advantage over Smith. 10 or 12 back to Justin Allgaier.
Leaders race to the back straightaway, while last time through 3 and 4, Brandon Jones still having problems after spinning earlier. That car still isn't right. Right now, he trails the field. Matter of fact, he's almost about 3/4 of a lap behind the leaders.
He is. I think the problem is since they came to pit road a moment ago, he may be just saving tires, knowing that we're going to have a caution in 4 more laps at the end of the stage.
Trouble left at turn number 3. Brennan Poole is up and into the outside wall. He'll slap the wall with the right side of his car. He's trying to get down to pit road, and he'll now go to pit road after the rest of the field bypasses him.
And we are going to stay under the green, Mike Bagley, as we begin to wrap this one up, or at least stage 2 here at Kansas. John Hunter Nemechek had been under attack. He is not now. He's got a 10 car length advantage over Sammy Smith. Sammy by 15 back to Justin Allgaier. 7 back to Josh Berry. 5 more back to Austin Hill.
Everybody all of a sudden's got a little bit of space all to themselves in the top 5, really in the top 10, as John Hunter Nemechek has a big wiggle off 2.
Everybody now spreading out, not pushing the point as we reach the end of this stage. But right now, John Hunter Nemechek is the class of the field. So smooth, he'll glide the car into 3 and just ride against the safer barrier all the way off of 4.
Gingerly get back on the accelerator, flash by the start-finish line. 2 laps to go in stage number 2. Nemechek the leader.
Here he comes into turn number 1. He's going to run about a groove off the safer barrier. Now slide up a little bit closer at the midway point between 1 and 2. John Hunter Nemechek to the back straightaway.
He'll keep that Toyota Supra up against the safer barrier down the backstretch. Now at the entrance to turn 3, again, he'll use the high lane. He's just hugging the wall this time through as he continues to open up his lead.
1 more to go in stage number 2. Then we'll see the green and white checkered flag. John Hunter Nemechek trying to do what he did in stage 1, and that's lead the field back to it.
Second burst looking a whole lot like the first. John Hunter Nemechek all by himself at the front of the field, running that extreme outside lane. All kinds of daylight as he hits the backstretch.
He brings that blue and white Toyota to the back straightaway, lead firmly in hand. He'll ease it off the end of the back stretch and just glide his way up the banking, riding the safer barrier, looking for that green and white checkered flag.
Here it comes up off turn number 4, and stage number 2 does indeed belong to John Hunter Nemechek. He picks up the stage win. Sammy Smith will be second. Third will be Justin Allgaier. Fourth will be Josh Berry. Fifth, Austin Hill. Sheldon Creed sixth. Parker Kligerman seventh. Derek Kraus eighth. Parker Retzloff ninth. And Brett Moffitt rounds out stage 2 in position number 10. 90 laps down, 110 to go, and the caution is on the speedway for the 7th time today.
The NASCAR playoffs are here, and everyone on the Toyota racing team is gearing up to bring the championship home. Like Andre and Steve, who've been growing out their playoff beards.
I've been growing mine for 20 years.
Doesn't that just make it a beard?
That's called dedication, Steve. To accomplish greater things this year, everyone plays a part. Be part of the action at toyota.com/racing. Toyota, let's go places. NASCAR is a registered trademark of National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, Inc.
Not getting enough of your NASCAR Live fix on Tuesdays? Well, we've got you covered. The NASCAR Live Wide Open podcast drops every Thursday and has the sport covered from all angles.
Long shots this weekend. Eric Jones, former Southern 500 winner.
From top 5 lists to a weekly look at the odds, NASCAR Live Wide Open offers a fun and unique look at the sport we all love. Subscribe to NASCAR Live wherever you listen to podcasts. Get ready to put the pedal down and go wide open every Thursday.
From Kansas Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Whelen Engineering, a global leader in the emergency warning industry, designs and manufactures reliable and powerful warning lights, white illumination lighting, sirens, controllers, and warning systems for the automotive, aviation, and mass notification industries worldwide. Whelen products are designed, sourced, and manufactured in America and tested on site to meet the toughest industry standards. Whelen Engineering, manufactured in America for over 70 years. We never left, and we're here to stay.
Welcome to Homestead Miami Speedway, where the sun and sand of South Beach meet the heat of NASCAR playoffs action. An Xfinity and Truck Series doubleheader on Saturday, a Cup Series playoff showdown on Sunday, and a South Florida Fiesta all weekend long. Experience NASCAR Playoffs Weekend at Homestead Miami Speedway, October 21st and 22nd. Get your tickets now at homesteadmiamispeedway.com.
Back at Kansas Speedway, working caution for the 7th time. A total of 30 laps and counting under caution here out of the 93 that have been complete. So nearly 1/3 of the race been run under the caution flag.
7 more laps and we will be halfway home with 100 in and 100 to go. 200 laps make up the total distance, 300 miles in the Kansas Lottery 300. Pit road will open up. John Hunter Nemechek, Sammy Smith expected to visit there. Justin Allgaier, Josh Berry, Austin Hill, right in front of his teammate. A couple of RCR Chevrolet Camaros running 5-6, Austin Hill and Sheldon Creed. Then you get back to Parker Kligerman, Derek Kraus. Parker Retzloff is into the top 10. He's 9th. And Brett Moffitt right now is running in position number 10. Again, pit road is open. And here they come. We'll start our coverage with Chris Wilner.
And Sammy Smith will be the first one to hit his box. Jeff Mendering on the radio said we'll give you a slight track bar adjustment to help you get back on throttle, give you a little bit more turn. It'll be 4 tires Sunoco fuel for Sammy. For Brett Moffitt, very, very tight through the center as he tries to work his bake back through. They're going to make a track bar adjustment as well with 4 tires Sunoco Racing fuel. Parker Kligerman sliding the rear tires. They're going to make a chassis adjustment as well as air pressure and 4 tires in Sunoco Racing fuel. Sheldon Creed, get me snug. They're going to make a significant air pressure adjustment. Steve Post.
Josh Berry, good, not great, just needs a little bit more right rear security. Minor adjustment on that car. The race off from pit road, John Hunter Nemechek, not even close. Sammy Smith goes out second. Austin Hill, Sheldon Creed, and Justin Allgaier go out. Also on pit road, we talked about Austin Hill getting off from pit road well. Very, very tight. Justin Allgaier, very, very loose. John Hunter Nemechek, not a shocker. Really happy with his automobile. Pit stops into stage number 2, lap number 93.
And that's how they came off the pit road there. Steve Post called it absolutely perfectly. 93 laps complete, 107 to go. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Motor Racing Network. Motor Racing Network live at Kansas Speedway. The Xfinity Series racing the Kansas Lottery 300. We're down to 106 laps to go. John Hunter Nemechek continues to be the race leader.
Hi, I'm MRN lead pit reporter Steve Post. Go behind the scenes each week with me and championship-winning crew chief Todd Gordon for MRN Crew Call.
They're really strong and going to win races soon.
We'll talk to some of the biggest names standing atop the pit box. Crew chief for William Byron on that number 24 car, Rudy Fugel, as well as break down all the exciting action from the weekend in NASCAR.
The one car with 2 wins and all the top 5s he's had, Ross and Phil have done a phenomenal job.
You can download MRN Crew Call wherever you get your podcasts.
When you're on the go, catch NASCAR Today to keep up with the latest.
It's the only thing I race for. You know, race wins are nice, but championships is what it's all about.
Every weekday, you'll hear the top stories of the day.
I'm excited to announce that I'll be taking my talents to Welcome, North Carolina to drive the number 8 car for Richard Childress Racing starting in 2023.
And from the stars of the sport.
Holy smokes, we get to go race for a championship.
I'm Chase Elliott. Listen to NASCAR Today every weekday right here on the Motor Racing Network.
From Kansas Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
From the infield garages to the race shops, NASCAR Hot Pass is your all-access ticket to the latest news from the sport.
Well, we got them down, now we put our foot on them. And that's the attitude you got to have.
I don't think it's a move that can have any success at Martinsville. I still don't know why it worked.
Stay up to date with all of your favorite drivers all year long.
Get to the Final Four is what every driver in NASCAR's goals are.
NASCAR Hot Pass, weekday mornings from the Motor Racing Network.
For 75 years, NASCAR has been making history.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. comes back to the Daytona International Speedway, leading the pack, coming to the line. He will win the Pepsi 400.
Catch the next iconic moment as we celebrate 75 years of NASCAR all season long.
Chastain did a video game move, drove it and never lifted.
Right here on the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
$105 laps to go in the Kansas Lottery 300. We're getting the opportunity to choose what lane to restart in. New race leader is Brandon Jones. Remember, he went for a spin, brought us under caution back on lap 74. Did not hit the wall, but did come to pit lane to change the Goodyear tires, top it off with Sunoco fuel. Knowing that we had another stage break coming, he just kind of hung around at the back of the field going rather slow to stay on or just fast enough rather, to stay on the tail end of the lead lap. Knowing the caution comes, everybody else comes to pit lane. Suddenly it cycles back around and Brandon Jones is the new race leader.
And Riley Herbst is only 1 lap down now, and he's the only car 1 lap down. A timely caution. He'll get the free pass, and he'll be back on the lead lap. He was 2 down earlier. As we get ready to go, another Geico restart coming up, presented by Geico. Switch to Geico today to see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com, get a rate quote, and get started seeing how much you could save.
The field is in turns 3 and 4. They'll make their way back around to take the green flag. Restarts have been very interesting here so far today. Let's hope we can get through at least a lap or 2 here, Jeff, before we can get them settled down.
Green flag is back in the air. It comes out on lap 96. Brandon Jones is going to try to keep pace. He will not. Getting away on the inside is John Hunter Nemechek. They're 3 wide, headed to turn 1.
Brandon Jones not keeping pace. As a matter of fact, he gets thrown to the wolves. Hit 3 wide to the outside. He's already out of the top 5 as Nemechek leads.
And Justin Allgaier had Austin Hill just jacked up coming out of 2. Hill away with second. Oh, and Allgaier gets clipped. Sammy Smith turns him. Brandon Jones will go around. Everybody scatters to the inside of the racetrack with Brandon Jones and Justin Allgaier and Sammy Smith coming to grief at the front of the field in turn 3.
This is huge for Riley Herbst, who took the wave around to get 1 lap down. He is now in position for the free pass. Riley Herbst will get back on the lead lap, getting 2 laps back in the matter of moments.
And Justin Allgaier torn up. He is headed to pit road. That bumper cover on the rear end of that Chevrolet hanging off the back, and And how about Brandon Jones? As Mike called it, he was definitely involved. He spun. Nobody hit him. He is going to go to the tail end of the field, no doubt. Meanwhile, Justin Allgaier is on pit road.
Yeah, the crew around to the back, that bumper cover has got to be put back on the race car, so they're going to work on getting that bumper cover on the car. Damage on the left rear, that's pushed down on the tire. Damage on the left front as well. They need to work on the clearance of that. So they got a couple of corners here of Justin Allgaier's car. First thing first, though, they're going to put some tires on it. They might send him out to stay on the lead lap here. We're going to see how that goes, but they've got some work to do here on this race car. If Justin Allgaier, as a matter of fact, he just did right side tires. He was down and away. He's going to obviously need to come back 2 or 3 more times, I would guess, at this point.
As we work caution for the multi-car crash in turn number 3, Mike, not what you wanted to see if you were Junior Motorsports.
No, and that seems to be the mantra, Alex, in 2023. If there's trouble on the racetrack and one Junior Motorsports car is involved, soon others will be as well. In this case, Justin Allgaier was on the outside of a 3 wide. They were all tangled up coming out of 2, and all of a sudden couldn't tell if there was contact, if he lost the handle, but Justin was on the outside coming into 3. The car went around. Sammy Smith went in the wall, and that's when everybody got all jammed up over here in 3. And those were the only 3 cars that were involved at the front of the field. Everybody else, great job of getting down to the bottom and not being collected in that mess off the end of the backstretch.
Sammy was in the middle of a 3-wide battle. You had Sheldon Creed down to the inside, Allgaier to the outside. It may have been Sammy checking up just a little bit when Sheldon started to slide across the nose of the 18, when Sammy may have backed up just a little bit. Barry was there, got into the back of the 18 of Sammy Smith. Sammy up and into the 7 of Justin Allgaier. Did you see it that way?
I did see it that way. That means all 4 Junior Motorsports Chevrolets have been involved in a crash at least once today. But what about Sammy Smith? He's been a top 2, top 3 car all day. This is the 7th race in a row that he's been involved in a crash.
Yeah, that's not how you want to start your run for a championship. Now, how Brandon Jones did not get damage, don't know. The tires, no doubt, used up as he went for a long smoking slide, but nobody hit him. Big break. As it was pointed out, Riley Herbst will get the free pass. Riley is back on the lead lap, and also able to skate through it all was Parker Kligerman. Those drivers continue to race for that final playoff transfer spot. Under caution, 100 in, 100 remain.
Bundling and saving with Geico is an easy choice, so you're free to ponder life's big questions, like what's the best animal in the world if not humans? I'd strongly consider ducks to be somewhere up there on the list. Think about it. Ducks can swim, ducks can fly, and ducks can walk on land. They have access to all terrains. They are the ultimate animal. And they wiggle their butts when they walk, which is funny. Yeah, ducks are awesome. End of story. Bundling and saving with Geico. It's an easy choice.
You'll have to see it to believe it. Whoever said that must have been talking about Talladega. It's a place where chaos mixes with speed, and a playoffs weekend becomes a lifetime of memories. It's a tradition like no other, at a track like no other. And after it's all over, you still won't believe it ever happened. NASCAR Playoffs Weekend at Talladega, September 30th through October 1st. Get your tickets now at TalladegaSuperspeedway.com.
Pit road is open. We should see a car or 2 come to pit road here in just a moment. We'll recap that if it happens when we come back. Again, 100 in and 100 remain. Let's see whether or not Brandon Jones will elect to bring his car onto pit road. Parker Kligerman will stay out. He got by unscathed, Alex Hayden, but whether or not anybody else elects to come to pit road, we will wait and find out. None of those front-running cars. Brandon Jones at the tail end of the field will indeed come to pit road. We'll recap his stop when we come back. Under caution from Kansas Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
NASCAR's next generation of stars drive in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
And here they come. Zane Smith now will try to advance his way to the lead.
Catch the excitement of every race right here.
NASCAR has made it official. Zane Smith is a back-to-back winner at the Daytona International Speedway in the opener.
On the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR. Don't miss a moment of the NASCAR season.
Chastain drove it and never lifted. Put it against the safer barrier and all the way around the turn, passes Denny Hamlin.
Check out the Motor Racing Network's coverage of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, the NASCAR Xfinity Series, and the NASCAR Cup Series on hundreds of local radio stations around the country. Find your local station by going to MRN.com to catch the excitement of NASCAR on the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Justin Allgaier continues to sit on pit road. Brandon Jones, just a moment ago, was on pit road. So let's cover those two. Brandon Jones, we'll start there. Chris Wilner on pit road. I would assume it was about tires.
It certainly was, Jeff. He scuffed those tires and flat spotted them pretty good on that spin. Now, luckily for Brandon Jones, didn't make all but maybe slight contact with the rear end of that race car. So all is well damage-wise. They did put a set of tires on. That's, of course, going to put Brandon not in that strategy play like he was hoping for on that restart where he took fuel before and had a little more in the tank. But wanted to make sure they had a set of tires on. Now it's up to the driver to get them back toward the front of the field when they'll have to make one more stop.
Meanwhile, Steve Post has his eagle eyes on that bright red car of Justin Allgaier.
Yeah, indeed. You guys talked about the damage on the back of the car, and they're able to get that fixed. The problem they have is on the left front. They've got a bar in the nose that's back on the left front tire, and I don't know that they got it off. They tried everything. At one time, they put blocks up under it, jacked the car way up, dropped the jack just to try to push the nose of that car and all the bars up off the tire. They ran just about to the end of the damaged vehicle clock, and they've just sent Justin Allgaier out, but I don't know if they made it out in time, and I don't know if they got the left front of that tire or that car fixed either on Justin Allgaier's car.
And now Postman will scamper down and get the latest on Riley Herbst. They are really working on that car right now, Steve. They are working a wedge wrench in the back of that car, focus on the right front of that car. He's still not out of it. What a day it's been for Riley. You know, you're battling all day long. You're down 2 laps. Now you find yourself back on the lead lap, racing Parker Kligerman for a chance at racing for a championship, but your car's used up, it's torn up, it's beat up. You're just doing everything you can.
Yeah, but we're just now past halfway. We still have 98 laps to go in this, and a lot of racing still to go. And as wild and wonky as this race has been, you never know what's going to happen. So it's imperative to continue racing every single lap as hard as you can. You got your car in your position now back on the lead lap. Now it's try to make sure the car is aerodynamically as good as it can be to try to climb the leaderboard. Parker Kligerman, well, he hasn't been without problems today either. Although he is in the number 5 position, he'll now choose to go to the outside of row 3, which puts him 6th for the restart. But Kligerman did not come up to speed on the restart, which subsequently put Riley Herbst in the position he was in.
And by the way, Allgaier officially at the moment, 2 down. He is 2 laps down. There is no car 1 lap down. Brennan Poole, 2 down. Justin Allgaier, 2 down. So they'll be battling one another and hoping for a timely caution as we get ready to go. Lights out, Mike, just past halfway. John Hunter Nemechek, Austin Hill. 2 drivers, Mike, racing for the regular season championship up front.
It's amazing how they have found themselves, in this case, door-to-door on the racetrack. Both driving white and blue cars, one a Toyota, one a Chevy. But John Hunter, he's going to have to go to work because he's got a new customer in town to his left elbow.
And both of these drivers racing for the regular season championship, making their way back into the Geico restart zone. Here we go. Oh, John Hunter now jams the brakes late in the restart restart zone. That's going to bunch up the entire field. A little bit of gamesmanship there as they race to turn 1.
John Hunter and Sheldon Creed, the first two in the outside line, get away. Everybody else just trying to regroup. Here's Austin Hill on the bottom, trying to make a run at Nemechek.
Nemechek, though, will clear him out of 2 and will go back to the lead. Side by side for second. Here's Austin Hill's teammate Sheldon Creed to his outside. That's the way they race off the end of the backstretch.
You got Josh Berry looking on right there. Derek Kraus having a good run. Parker Kligerman side by side as they come to the line, and they are doing that right in front of Parker Retzloff. That is from 4th on back. Let's follow it back to the corner.
Side by side battle for 5th. Derek Kraus all the way to the safer barrier. Parker Kligerman down on the bottom. Parker Retzloff looking for real estate.
Side by side for 3rd. Here's Josh Berry. Crossover move on the backstretch. He'll dive to the inside of Austin Hill. He'll slide under, grab 3rd. Hill will fall back to 4th.
The restart is indeed under review by NASCAR Race Control. John Hunter Nemechek is the leader for the moment. Sheldon Creed 2nd. 3rd is up for grabs.
Battle is on for that number 3 position. For the moment, Josh Berry has got it, but Austin Hill wants a piece of the action. Parker Kligerman's not far out of the mix either as they exit turn 2.
Parker Kligerman now applying pressure to Austin Hill. This is the battle for 4th. This, of course, going on behind Nemechek, Creed, and Berry.
Boy, further back, 3 wide at your feet right there, Mike, as they make their way off 4. Brett Moffitt involved in that 3-car battle is going to settle out now off the corner, up front and driving away at the moment, John Hunter Nemechek.
Flexing some major muscle right now in the lead as they battle tooth and nail for 2nd. Josh Berry to the inside on Sheldon Creed. Creed's got the momentum up high.
We've cleared the halfway point. Josh Berry starting to get some aggressiveness built into his moves. In 1 last time he dove for the bottom. This time in 3, he'll keep it up against the wall and right next to Sheldon Creed.
And that is the battle for the 2nd spot as we check in with Chris Wilner at the Care Center.
Sammy Smith checked and released. Sammy, we talk all about these restarts being crazy. 3 wide scenario. Walk me through what happened.
Yeah, the 3 wide really wasn't the issue. It was the 2 just coming up on me and then pushing me into the 7. It seems about typical with him, and it just is part of it, I guess. Frustrating. I thought we had a really fast car. Felt like I don't know where we would have shaken up there with John Hunter. I felt like he was better, but we still had 100 laps to go and another green flag stop. So we won't know, but we'll move on to Bristol.
All right, that's Sammy Smith. Checked and released, obviously frustrated, but trying to end that streak of being involved in incidents. It looks like it'll be number 7 in a row.
Yeah, wiped out. 7 races in a row. Sammy Smith out, Cole Custer out, Daniel Hemrick out, Sam Mayer out. Kyle Weatherman also one of those drivers that, well, they're going home early. And all of those drivers, contenders for sure. Sammy Smith right up there. Cole Custer was 3rd when he went out. Right now, though, it is John Hunter Nemechek out front, and you've got a latest on John Hunter and that restart.
The NASCAR has deemed the restart is indeed good, so all fair there. So everybody will continue to race on. That's a big sigh of relief for John Hunter Nemechek. What we talk about, let's go over the restarts and why NASCAR needed to review that, because the control car or the leader of the race is the one that gets on the gas first in the restart zone. Nobody else can get on the gas before the leader. However, NASCAR about a month or so ago had a very strict talking to all top 3 national series, the NASCAR Cup Series, Xfinity Series, and Craftsman Truck Series drivers about restarts and playing games in the zone. It looked like Nemechek started to go right when he got to the zone and then really checked up at late in the zone and bottled up the entire field, and everybody started scattering, and that's what NASCAR was looking at, trying to determine, did Nemechek start and then stop, or did he maintain speed and then go late in the zone?
And obviously they ruled that to be a clean restart. Dave Moody, there is one car out there that is flat flying, and he is climbing the leaderboard in a hurry. We put him under the green flag on lap 102. We just ran lap 111, and Brandon Jones is up 19 spots, and he's looking for more.
He's trying to make it 20 as he jumps down to the bottom on Kaz has Grella midway down the back straightaway.
Side by side they will race. Race, that is, back to the corner. Brandon Jones continues to make progress, having cleared the Grella car in 4.
As Daniel Hemrick came out of the garage, went up the back straightaway, and he's going to now bring his car back to pit lane, battling some sort of a mechanical issue. He is 75 laps down, but he's going to head back to pit lane right now.
Brandon Jones now up 20 spots since we went under the green flag 10 laps ago. Brandon Jones up to 9th, and let's remind everybody why we are talking about and following Brandon Jones.
Because he has to win this race if he wants to run for a championship. Must-win situation. It has not been without adversity for Brandon Jones. Spun by himself to bring out the caution on lap 74, then got swept up in the latest caution on lap 97 when Josh Berry got into the back of Sammy Smith, set off the chain reaction into Allgaier, and Brandon Jones spun the race car. Did not hit the wall, did not hit any other vehicles, came back to pit lane, bolted on the tires, and now he's driving up through the field yet again. The problem is in the Xfinity Series, you have a limited number of brand new Goodyear Eagle tires, and he's had to use a couple of different sets off sequence from everybody else. But right now, he is back to the number 8 spot, looking for 7th in turn 1.
The problem is, as he enters turn 1, John Hunter Nemechek is exiting turn number 2. So a lot of real estate between him and the leader. He's just worried about the Parker Retzloff machine dead ahead.
Yeah, here comes Brandon Jones. He's just a little over the length of the backstretch behind the race leader, and he's pacing himself. He's not putting himself in the bind. He's just closing in very slowly and methodically on that Retzloff car.
Yeah, and right now Retzloff running in 7th, and Brandon Jones trying to take that away. Behind Brandon and deserving of a call-out is Ryan Ellis, 33-year-old driver out of the state of Virginia, without a top 10 finish this year, driving for Alpha Prime Racing. Well, Ryan Ellis is having a great day, a season best day today here at Kansas.
He absolutely is. He's been a journeyman driver. He's done the start and park back when that was a thing a decade or so ago. Then he's been able to piece together a little funding here and there to try to make a race and try to run the whole distance. Obviously, the goal is to be a full-time NASCAR Xfinity Series driver. Well, he's found enough partnerships and sponsorship. He's going to finish out the year, and he's going to be full-time next year in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. He spent some time when he wasn't driving race cars working as a public relations representative for some other drivers just to keep his face and his name around the garage. That's what you have to do. It's called being a part of the grind when you don't come fully funded into racing, and he's piecing it together to a point now he's putting together a top 10 run.
Yeah, and if you go back and look at what he's done, 6 Cup starts, 91 Xfinity Series starts, 26 starts in a truck. Never has he finished inside the top 10. He just got bounced outside of the top 10. Maybe he can rally back. He's been good for 117 laps. We're down to 83 to go, Alex Hayden. John Hunter Nemechek is out front.
He is, as Nemechek begins to pull away by 2.2 seconds over second place, Josh Berry. Sheldon Creed goes third. Fourth will be Austin Hill. Parker Kligerman is in the number 5 spot. We'll stop right there for the moment and look down the leaderboard for Riley Herbst. You don't have to go far. He's rallied from 2 laps down with a wounded race car back to 13th. So fighting for that last playoff position, Kligerman at the moment is in by 14 points.
For 3 decades, Racing Electronics has been the #1 choice for scanners, headsets, and all race day communications needs. Racing Electronics provides the ultimate fan experience for the ultimate NASCAR fan. Hear uncensored communication from every team in the race with a scanner from Racing Electronics, or tune into the MRN radio broadcast. To learn more, visit racingelectronics.com today. Be race ready, be RE equipped.
Hey, this is Mike Bagley. Join me along with the cast and crew of the Motor Racing Network every Tuesday night for NASCAR Live. Hear exclusive interviews.
Waking up, coming back to Victory Lane, doing media spot. That's kind of when it really sunk in that, hey, we accomplished something great.
The best moments from each of NASCAR's premier series.
Chastain did a video game move, drove it and never lifted.
As well as break down the upcoming race weekend and more. It's NASCAR Live every Tuesday night at 7 Eastern.
No change inside the top 5. However, there was change inside the top 10. Brandon Jones was able to get by Parker Retzlaff, so Brandon Jones is now up to the 7th spot. 78 laps to go from Kansas Speedway. This is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Whelen Engineering, a global leader in the emergency warning industry, designs and manufactures reliable and powerful warning lights, white illumination lighting, sirens, controllers, and warning systems for the automotive, aviation, and mass notification industries worldwide. Whelen products are designed, sourced, and manufactured in America and tested on site to meet the toughest industry standards. Whelen Engineering, manufactured in America for over 70 years. We never left, and we're here to stay.
Hello, I'm Jay Winnick. On 9/11, I lost my brave brother Glenn in the collapse of the World Trade Center. Glenn was a volunteer firefighter who died in the line of duty. Glenn's bravery inspired me to help start the nonprofit that's turned September 11th into a national day of service. For 9/11 this year, please join me by doing what Glenn would have done, taking time to help others. Please visit 911day.org to learn more.
Back at Kansas Speedway, Riley Herbst is back inside the top 10 now. He's up to the number 10 spot after passing Brett Moffitt. As a matter of fact, let's take a look at the leaderboard brought to you by Blue Green Vacations. Blue Green Vacations, the official vacation ownership provider of NASCAR, invites you to believe in the power of vacation. With Blue Green, you can create a lifetime of memories at our collection of unique, locally inspired resorts and enjoy exclusive access to VIP NASCAR experiences. Start your vacation journey today at bluegreenvacations.com.
John Hunter Nemechek with 75 laps to go is out front over Josh Berry. Josh has been up and down the leaderboard. He's come all the way to second now, and he's running right in front of Sheldon Creed and his teammate Austin Hill. They go 3-4. Parker Kligerman right now in a position to advance. He is 5th. Derek Kraus 6th. Brandon Jones climbing the leaderboard. He's up to 7th. Parker Retzlaff, great day. 8th. Kaz Grala, great day. 9th. And Riley Herbst, no quit in that team. They're up to 10th.
Running in the 11th spot is Brett Moffitt. 12th is Ryan Sieg. 13th is Joe Graff Jr. 14th is Josh Williams. 15th is Jeb Burton. Mason Massey goes 16th. Kyle Sieg 17th. Ryan Ellis has backslid to 18th. Connor Mozak is 19th, and Dawson Cram is 20th.
Running 21st at the moment, Rajah Caruth in front of Matt Mills, Jeremy Clements, and Blaine Perkins. All of those cars, all 24, are on the lead lap at the moment. One lap down, 25th is Joey Gase. Then you've got Leland Honeyman, 26th, Garrett Smithley, 27th, CJ McLaughlin, 28th, Anthony Alfredo, 29th, and Justin Allgaier is back in 30th.
31st, Brennan Poole. 32nd is Nick Lights. 33rd is Chandler Smith. Out of the race in 34th is Sammy Smith. Out of the race 35th is Cole Custer. Daniel Hemrick will be 36th. 37th, Sam Mayer. And Kyle Weatherman is 38th.
All right, you just talked about Riley Herbst and his climb back up the leaderboard and all the way to 10th. Well, he's off the pace, and he's coming back down pit road. Now let's check and see. The last time he was actually on pit road was lap 101. So this is untimely. Steve Post is waiting for Riley.
Yes, indeed, and they have tire smoke and a tire going down. Looks like it's the right front, which is where that damage was on the contact with Parker Kligerman earlier on. What a run he had from 2 laps down up into the top 10. Riley has a really, really good long-run car, but unfortunately, this might be the dagger in him now as they're sitting on pit road. Continue to massage on that right front tire, but tire smoke and a tire going down is what has Riley Herbst on pit road again here. Lap 128, and they're going to go 4 tires, Sunoco fuel on it, but down and away goes Riley Herbst now. But boy, what a devastating blow after such a grind back to the top 10.
It's hard to come from 1 lap down, let alone 2 laps down, and they already did that one time. As it looks right now, he may lose a second lap for the second time in today's race.
The highs and lows of big-time stock car racing. You know, at one point you're 2 laps down, like you said, and, you know, the team is down. Somebody's probably on the radio saying, stay up, long way to go. You actually brought it up. Still over halfway at that time. And then the next thing you know, it's like, you know what, we got this. Here we go. We're climbing the leaderboard. You are up to P10. And then all of a sudden the driver says, I think I got a tire going down. And like you said, back down 2. Up and down the leaderboard, highs and lows of NASCAR. Riley Herbst all the way back outside now, running in 29th position. That's not what they need.
No, it is not. They know their scenario, and right now it's going to be an absolute battle for Riley Herbst just to get back to 1 lap down, then back on the lead lap for a second time. He is 2 laps down again for the second time in the race. So what does that do for Parker Kligerman, who now is 30 points to the good? Kligerman has had some problems throughout the race, but Chris Wilner, right now he's in the number 5 position. What kind of information is the team feeding Parker?
Well, right now, just from the box, and Patrick Donahue, his crew chief, has just been lap times, and from the spotter, Brandon McReynolds, where to run on the racetrack to get around some of the lap cars. But prior to the race, Patrick told me that Parker's smart. He knows what he needs to do. He knows where the 98 is going to be around the racetrack. The only time he said, I'm instructed to tell Parker what's going on with Riley Herbst is if he's within striking distance. Well, obviously now, quiet on the radio when it comes to the points. They're solidly in at this point, but Parker Kligerman quiet on the radio right now, just lap times and trying to get him to that final pit stop.
Quiet means focused, and when you're running 5th and in a transfer position to race for a championship, there's no reason to talk about anything other than just straight ahead, out the front windshield. With 66 laps to go, back downstairs to Steve Post on pit road. Steve, 66 to go, 133 down. If we stay under the green flag, what do you expect?
Funny you mentioned that, because Ben Bayshore was just talking to John Hunter Nemechek and said 15 more laps, and we're going to bring it down to pit road. So it's going to be about lap 148 is what they're planning on for John Hunter Nemechek. That puts them in the window. We were told 58 to 60 laps is the fuel window. That would put them 52 laps from the end, so a little wiggle room should we get some extra racing here in overtime. So we're looking at 10 to 15 laps for the cars to hit pit road.
John Hunter Nemechek right now is just flogging the rest of the field. He's got a 7-second lead over second place Josh Berry. Another 8 seconds, I should say he's 8 seconds ahead of Sheldon Creed, 9 seconds ahead of Austin Hill, and 10.5 seconds over fifth place Parker Kligerman. So John Hunter Nemechek right now, only thing he's having to worry about, Dave Moody, is just working lap traffic.
Well, that's exactly it, and he's got the luxury of space and time to do that. He's got 3 lap cars just ahead of him right now, but he doesn't have to push the point. He'll just close in and deal with the Mason Massey machine first.
Pretty amazing to watch John Hunter do his work this afternoon. He has not been in any trouble spots at all. Matter of fact, as the maestro, he has dictated the cadence and the rhythm of this race, and he is doing it big time right now.
Boy, you're exactly right about that, Mike Bagley. John Hunter, that is, looking for win number 6 on the season. It's just been a remarkable year for John Hunter and the team. He picked up a win at California, did it again at Martinsville, won at Atlanta. A week later, New Hampshire. He won at Michigan. It's just been that type of a season for John Hunter Nemechek. Now he's trying to win the regular season and put all of that behind him and go chase a championship. And, oh, by the way, there was other big news earlier this week.
It's announced that he will drive full-time in the NASCAR
and we've got trouble off of turn number 4, and Ryan Ellis is going to go for a ride. I think that's Ryan Ellis. It is not.
Rajah Caruth goes for the spin off turn number 4.
And that's going to bring out the caution flag, and it will happen now for the 9th time. He got help. They got jacked up, bottled up, coming off of turn number 4, and Rajah was, he was the one that went for the long, lazy spin to the grass under caution. Lap 137, John Hunter Nemechek out front.
The year was 1993. The NASCAR Cup Series season kicked off with the Dale and Dale show at the Daytona 500.
Dale Jarrett's got the lead. He goes to the inside. Earnhardt's not going to get him. Dale Jarrett is going to win the Daytona 500 by STP. Earnhardt second.
The 1993 NASCAR Cup Series season. All the highs and lows. Relive them all on MRN's exclusive podcast, The 1993 Season. Available on podcast platforms and MRN.com.
Welcome to Homestead Miami Speedway, where the sun and sand of South Beach meet the heat of NASCAR playoffs action. An Xfinity and Truck Series doubleheader on Saturday, a Cup Series playoff showdown on Sunday, and a South Florida fiesta all weekend long. Experience NASCAR Playoffs weekend at Homestead Miami Speedway, October 21st and 22nd. Get your tickets now at homesteadmiamispeedway.com.
Pit stops maybe coming up shortly from Kansas Speedway. This is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
On your ride home, catch NASCAR today to keep up with the latest.
Just to think I'm the Daytona 500 winner, I would have never dreamed it.
Every weekday, you'll hear the top news stories in the sport.
It's just an opportunity of a lifetime for me that I had to take.
Plus insights from your favorite drivers.
Can't thank Penske enough and everybody involved for sticking with me and believing in me.
I'm Chase Elliott. Listen to NASCAR Today every weekday right here on the Motor Racing Network.
Hi, I'm MRN lead pit reporter Steve Post. Go behind the scenes each week with me and championship-winning crew chief Todd Gordon for MRN Crew Call.
Really proud of those guys and what they put together.
Where we talk to first-time winners. Crew chief for Trackhouse Racing, Travis Mack joins us, and champions from the NASCAR Cup Series. Your 2022 championship-winning crew chief Paul Wolf to the Craftsman Truck Series. The championship-winning crew chief with driver Zane Smith joins us. You can download MRN Crew Call wherever you get your podcasts.
Under caution with 60 to go, and I would think you would want every single drop of Sunoco fuel you can shove into one of these race cars to go on board right now. Aren't we right on the edge?
Yeah, Steve Post and Chris Wilner have told us 58 laps, maybe 60 laps on a full tank of Sunoco fuel. Pit lane is open with 60 laps to go in the race. It's decision time for these crew chiefs.
Well, you would think that they would need to come to pit road no matter what, and then it's a matter of, well, can you go the distance? John Hunter Nemechek will bring the lead lap cars off the banking in turn 4. Right behind him, Josh Berry, Sheldon Creed, Austin Hill, Parker Kligerman, Chris Wilner, you're up.
Sheldon Creed, the first to hit his box. Jeff Stankiewicz saying take a pound of air pressure out of the rear tires. 4 tires stop for Sheldon Creed and a full tank of Sunoco gas. They said make sure you wait on the fuel. Brandon Jones is in 4 tires Sunoco fuel. Said I'm tight center off. Get me a little bit freer. And Brett Moffitt in on my end as well. Steve Post.
Parker Retzloff having a good run. Going to be 4 tires Sunoco Racing Fuel. Josh Berry still just a tick free. They're going to do 4 tires Sunoco Racing Fuel. John Hunter Nemechek really happy with his car. 4 tires Sunoco Racing Fuel as well. Here they come off pit road. The race is won by John Hunter Nemechek with Josh Berry and Austin Hill, Sheldon Creed, and Parker Kligerman. Your top 5 off from pit road. Now Save fuel aggressively, as what Ben Bayshore just told John Hunter Nemechek. Save every ounce of fuel you can get. Pit stops here midway through stage number 3.
Guys, there's a problem up here at the exit of pit road, exiting out onto turn 2. The Blaine Perkins machine was running in line up on the apron, and the right rear tire just spontaneously exploded. There was a quick flash of flame out from underneath the car, and now he has come to a stop on the pit road exit apron. Everybody has made their way by. No issue for the pit stops, but Blaine Perkins now refires it, and he's going to try and limp it home without a right rear.
Little bit of everything we're seeing here today at Kansas Speedway, as Blaine Perkins is indeed rolling again with the right rear flat on that car and a lot of smoke and some debris being shed, but he is well off the racing line.
Chandler Smith, you talk about a little bit of everything. Chandler Smith, he had issues early on. It put him several laps down, and right now he's 15 down in 33rd out of the race. Sammy Smith, Daniel Hemrick, Cole Custer, Kyle Weatherman, Sam Mayer. And they went out early, Alex.
They did, and that's just part of racing at Kansas Speedway. If you like and what you're hearing here today on MRN, don't forget tomorrow's the main event, the Hollywood Casino 400 for the NASCAR Cup Series, 2 o'clock Eastern Time, NASCAR Live Race Day with Mike Bagley, Steve Post, Chris Wilner, and our entire team will be with you for the Hollywood Casino 400. There is a little bit of breaking news. If you listen to our broadcast for Cup Series pole qualifying and practice, William Byron spun and caught the wall. They had to make some repairs to the car. He was cleared by NASCAR to go qualifying in order to get as high as he can to pick his pit selection. He qualified in the second round, made it to the top 10. Well, while this race has been going on, the NASCAR Cup Series officials have been going over that race car, and they have made the determination that William Byron will indeed get to keep his starting spot. He will not have to start the race at the back of the field.
And he will start 9th. Here's a quick look at the top 10 starters for tomorrow's Hollywood Casino 400, row 1. Christopher Bell and Kyle Larson, row 2. Martin Truex Jr. and Chase Elliott. Row 3, Tyler Reddick and Ross Chastain. Row 4, Michael McDowell, who happens to be the only Ford to start in the top 10 tomorrow. Michael McDowell 7th, Austin Dillon alongside, and then row 5, William Byron and Bubba Wallace. It's going to be a good one tomorrow. The Hollywood Casino 400, Kansas Speedway, airtime 2 Eastern.
Just getting the one to go. John Hunter Nemechek will choose the outside lane for the restart. Josh Berry will go down to the inside of the front row, and that's how they're going to fire off when they come back around next time by. The rest of the top drivers and their choose. Sheldon Creed and Austin Hill, the 2 RCR Camaros, will go inside and outside of row number 2. Row number 3 will be Derek Kraus and Parker Kligerman. Let's take a moment to talk about Derek Kraus. Running in the number 6 position, Derek Kraus driving that third Colleague Racing Chevrolet. The other 2 Colleague cars have had engine problems today in Daniel Hemrick and Chandler Smith, but Derek Kraus has been in the top 10 for just about every lap of the race so far, and he's doing a nice job.
When you get the call to come and drive, we talked about this last night. When that phone rings and you get an opportunity to drive a good car, it is up to you as the driver to fulfill that commitment and get the best out of the car. And I think Derek Kraus has done that and then some so far this afternoon. Agree?
100% agree. He finished top 10 in 2 of his 4 Xfinity Series starts, and all of those starts have come right here in the year 2023. So he's adapted very well after running a couple of years in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Here at Kansas Speedway, he's got a few top 10 finishes here in the trucks at this racetrack, so he's good at this speedway.
Well, let's follow him and everybody else as we get ready to go back under the green flag. 57 laps to go in the Kansas Lottery 300. On the outside and ready to roll, John Hunter Nemechek to his inside. Josh Berry, Austin Hill behind Nemechek. Sheldon Creed is going to jump out from behind Josh Berry and follow Hill back to the corner.
No contest on the restart as John Hunter Nemechek just flies away to a 2-car length lead. Austin Hill to the outside of Josh Berry for second.
A couple of Chevys side by side there. You got Berry on the bottom. You got Hill topside. Sheldon Creed looking on. Berry's going to drive it deep into the corner, trying to grab the spot, but here comes Austin Hill flying back around the outside.
He's going to have the momentum. Topside is Austin Hill. He'll hang on to the second spot, if only by a bumper. But Josh Berry will rally back downstairs.
Here's Berry ahead by a fender as they hit the banking of turn number 1. Austin Hill trying to hang with him, but Berry is quick down low. He'll slide up across the nose, take over third. There's 3 wide for 4.
Brandon Jones right up the middle in a power move at the exit of turn 2. He had Parker Kligerman to his inside, Sheldon Creed to his outside. Brandon Jones up to 4th, and trouble. Rajah Caruth further back will spin his car to the bottom. Long, lazy slide. The slide started in 3. It continued on the apron through 3, through 4, up onto the banking. Everybody ducking and dodging to avoid him as he slides back down the banking in turn 4.
Caution flag for the 10th time. Rajah with a slide that began in 3, ended in 4. And Rajah Caruth is on pit road with 55 laps remaining. This will help in fuel conservation going back under the caution flag that is out for the 10th time. 45 laps today of the 145 have been run under the caution flag.
Steve Post and Chris Wilner had talked about these crew chiefs, specifically Ben Bayshore, crew chief for race leader John Hunter Nemechek. Save fuel as much as you can. This will absolutely aid in doing just that for these drivers. Race leader is Nemechek. We're down to 54 laps to go.
This is Steve Post. If you love sprint cars, you'll love Wing Nation. Join World of Outlaw winner Aaron Evernham and me every Tuesday at noon Eastern Time on Motor Racing Networks and Wing Nation's Facebook pages. We go live with the weekend's winners and newsmakers from around the country each and every week. You can also find the podcast of all past shows on YouTube or subscribe to the podcast on any of your favorite podcast providers. Wing Nation, all sprint cars, all the time.
Looking for motorsports coverage you can't find anywhere else? Look no further than the Motor Racing Network's lineup of weekly podcasts. NASCAR news and interviews on NASCAR Live and NASCAR Live Wide Open. NASCAR Cup Series Insight on Crew Call. NASCAR Grassroots Racing News and Talk on NASCAR Coast to Coast. And Sprint Car Talk on Wing Nation. All these and more available on podcast platforms and MRN.com.
Pit road is open. However, everybody was just in, 6 laps ago. So I don't see any of the top runners, with the exception of Joe Graff Jr. He's the only one to peel off the racetrack. He'll come down the pit lane. From Kansas Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Whelen Engineering, a global leader in the emergency warning industry, designs and manufactures reliable and powerful warning lights, white illumination lighting, sirens, controllers, and warning systems for the automotive, aviation, and mass notification industries worldwide. Whelen products are designed, sourced, and manufactured in America and tested on site to meet the toughest industry standards. Whelen Engineering, manufactured in America for over 70 years. We never left, and we're here to stay.
Hi, I'm Kyle Penn. You may know that Victory Junction provides fun, adaptive, and life-changing experiences for kids with all levels of abilities, serious illnesses, and chronic medical conditions. But did you know that camp is free for the children and families we serve? Your support helps every camper build a foundation to live their best life. Make your gift today at victoryjunction.org/donate and feel your heart race.
Back at Kansas Speedway, 52 laps to go this time by as we work the caution flag for the 10th time. Jeff, you just got to wonder, how many more caution flags does this race have left in it?
17, I believe. Right now I'll put the over-under at 27 for the race. We have 10 in so far, and again, 47 laps. We've run 147, and 47 of them have been under the caution flag. Justin Allgaier, well, it was going to be a good race for Justin. He's on pit road, 1 lap down. He is joined on pit road by a handful of others. Daniel Hemrick is on pit road, Jeremy Clements, Riley Herbst. You know, just saying that, drivers that came in with high hopes, and those are the drivers that are on pit road because of one reason or another that killed the race. Hemrick, Riley Herbst, Justin Allgaier, just to name a few.
Yeah, and now it's just, let's get to the checkered flag, put the car on the back of the transporter, get back to North Carolina, get set for the playoffs.
Do you think John Hunter Nemechek has, radioed back and forth to the team like, seriously, how many more laps do we have? And of course, they're coming on the radio going, John Hunter, stay focused. We got 52 to go. And he's probably responding with, you got to be kidding me. It feels like we've been out here a entire afternoon and into the evening, and we are only 3/4 of the way through this race.
Yeah, we are. But, that's just part of it. You're going to have races like this from time to time that you just have to stay in it. And as tough as this track is on machine, it's just as tough on a race like this on the human, because you have got to stay focused.
He's all the way to fourth. Parker Kligerman now can see him right out the front windshield. He knows that if Brandon Jones wins, it does not matter what Parker Kligerman does.
Yeah, because there's only one spot left in the playoffs, so if Brandon Jones wins, he's in. Parker Kligerman's just going to go race to try to collect trophies from here on out. So Kligerman is now becoming a fan of, if I can't win it, we better have somebody who's already won get to victory lane.
Well, and that driver may very well be John Hunter Nemechek, who's already won 5 times this year. Josh Berry ready to go. Josh will line up on the inside of John Hunter Nemechek. As we get ready to go, there'll be 50 to go. 150 down, 50 remain. They work the back straightaway. Brandon Jones will line up inside row 2. And Mike Bagley, it will be fun to see what Brandon is able to do over the final 50 laps.
About to get a little spicy on these restarts here as we start clicking off these laps and getting down to the checkered flag. Brandon Jones, after the last restart, just made a heck of a move, going 3 wide up the middle and picked 2 of them off at the same time. That's what's put him inside of the top 5, and right now he is starting on the inside of row 2. Buckle up if you're a Brandon Jones fan. Your boy's doing good right now.
He is inside of the second row, the number 3 spot. Traditionally a very respectful racer. He's very well liked in this series and in this garage. But in times like this, sometimes you got to get a little nasty in you. Green flag goes in the air. Nemechek and Berry on the front row, and they're going to match each other, racing to 1.
Side by side, nose to nose into turn number 1. John Hunter Nemechek getting a little help from behind from the Austin Hill machine. Josh Berry trying to hang with him, but it's Nemechek off 2.
Berry in second. Brandon Jones to the inside of Austin Hill for third, and Parker Kligerman's all up in that battle too. Matter of fact, he'll shove Hill off the end of the back straightaway. He may shove Hill to the inside of Berry for second.
Boy, what a battle from second on back. Here they come, racing back off turn number 4. For a moment, they were 3 wide. Berry, Jones, and Hill, with Parker Kligerman looking on.
A hornet's nest battle for second, third, fourth, and fifth. But as they fight, John Hunter Nemechek draws slowly but surely away. Here's Brandon Jones looking low for second.
He will grab third away from Austin Hill. Parker Kligerman to the inside of Hill for fourth. Sheldon Creed looking on for fifth as the leaders race their way off the corner.
John Hunter Nemechek right on the bottom of the racetrack, exiting turn number 4 early in on the run. Josh Berry behind him. Then it's Brandon Jones side by side for position number 4 for the moment with Kligerman and Hill.
Parker Kligerman looked to the inside on Austin Hill coming off turn 4. He'll try it again going into turn 1. Kligerman down to the inside. Hill on the outside. The battle for 4th. Give it to PK.
Yeah, but he can't clear him just yet. Hill's going to keep a fender up alongside him, while at the same time, Brandon Jones hard charge into 3 to the inside of Berry, and Brandon Jones goes to second.
And right now, second will do him no good. It's been a great drive, but he's not done yet, Dave Moody. He's got one more car to pass, and that has to be John Hunter Nemechek.
One more pass, but the hardest pass of all on a very dominant John Hunter Nemechek. First, he's got to catch him. He's still about 7 car lengths back.
Yeah, but he's making progress. He has already pulled away from Josh Berry by 5 car lengths. He's got work to do. Here he comes, Brandon Jones, about 3/4 away at the banking in turns 3 and 4.
He's going to try to clip away another 1/10 of a second or 2 on this lap. Nemechek, the leader, will check it at the line. Brandon Jones stays above the white line. He's 0.8 of a second behind.
Desperation will do wonders for your lap times, and Brandon Jones knows that nothing but a checkered flag will do. He continues to try and reel in Nemechek.
As these leaders are mindful of fuel consumption, there are those drivers, there's certain few of them, that do have ulterior agendas. Brandon Jones, one of them. He's got to go to catch John Hunter Nemechek. He's got a lot of ground to make up.
He's got 45 laps in which to do it, Mike. We talked at the top of the show that we expected to see drama play out. We expected to see a good race. Let's talk about the drama. If you want it, you've got it here this afternoon.
Absolutely do. Starting with the number 1 storyline. 1 spot available in the playoffs, and right now it belongs to Parker Kligerman by 30 points. However, second place running Brandon Jones is one of 11 different drivers that need to win this race to win their way into the playoffs. Then the other storyline was the regular season championship. Austin Hill had a 23-point lead coming into the race over John Hunter Nemechek. Nemechek is the race leader right now. Austin Hill is in position number 4. And we'll check the points on the regular season fight for that crown here in just a moment. Then you throw in the fact that this is a race and everybody's trying to win this thing. And straight up right now, John Hunter Nemechek, who's led 111 of 157 laps, is the man to beat.
He is the dominant car. He has been the dominant car throughout the event, easily leading by a ton laps over anybody else. John Hunter 111. Justin Allgaier, who had problems, got caught up in a crash, led 40. Custer 3. Brandon Jones led 2 when he stayed out and did not pit. And Sammy Smith led 1. That pretty much tells you the tale of what we have seen so far. John Hunter Nemechek has led 112 of 157. Brandon Jones, though, Dave, keep pedaling, keep digging, don't give up.
He's given it all he's got, Jeff, but I don't know right now that it's going to be enough. He's not been able, at least to the naked eye, to make any significant inroads into the deficit that he suffers to John Hunter Nemechek.
If anything, John Hunter's gone to the whip and is pulling away now. Once he's gotten broken free at the pack after the restart, he's got a lot of clean air, got a lot of open racetrack to work with, and is slowly starting to tiptoe away.
But Chris Wilner, is Brandon Jones being forced to roll out of the throttle a little more than what he would want to?
Just a little bit. Crew Chief Jason Burnett came over the radio and said, we don't need to get it all right now, because remember, they're on their last set of sticker tires after that last pit stop. Everyone else has a set in case we get a late caution and they decide to put on fresh tires. So managing equipment has been the focal point now for Brandon Jones. Now he's settled into that second position. Just keep John Hunter in sight and go get him here when we get in the late stages.
That bears repeating. Brandon Jones with no Goodyear Racing Eagles, that according to Chris Wilner, with others sitting on brand new tires. And if we did get a caution flag and everybody came to pit road, Brandon would be a sitting duck. He's already been in that position one time today, and it almost proved fatal for their run for a championship. Hard work, effort, dedication has allowed them to rally back, but it's going to need to stay green.
It is indeed, and the reason he is down a set of tires to the rest of the field is because of the spin he occurred back on lap 74 by himself, and flat spotting that set of tires had to come in and put fresh ones on. Now the battle for the regular season championship. I mentioned Austin Hill at the drop of the green flag was 23 points ahead of John Hunter Nemechek. As they run right now, Nemechek, the race leader, Austin Hill just now picking up the number 3 spot over Josh Berry. So Austin Hill is up by, 7 points over John Hunter Nemechek as they run right now. That is extremely valuable because the regular season champion earns 15 extra playoff points that go with you round to round as long as you stay in the playoffs. That's equivalent to winning 3 races.
37 to go. A lot could unfold here before we see the black and white checkered flag. John Hunter Nemechek leading over Brandon Jones by 1.7 seconds. Then it's Austin Hill, Josh Berry, and Parker Kligerman. That is your top 5.
With 37 laps to go, this time by John Hunter Nemechek up off of the corner. Steve Post has been down in the John Hunter Nemechek pit all afternoon. Now, Posty, the last time we spoke about Ben Bayshore, the crew chief, and his driver, John Hunter Nemechek, being told to save fuel. How are they doing right now with 37 to go?
I think they're doing really well with it. John Hunter saved fuel after that pit stop, and remember we had that caution for the caution right after he went back to green, and he saved more fuel. So the fuel word has not been uttered over the radio. I think John Hunter, being a veteran driver, is probably aware he needs to make sure that he does that, but also setting the pace puts him in a spot where he can manage his fuel, or just do better fuel management as well. So it hasn't really been mentioned down here, so they're feeling fairly good about fuel to the advertised distance.
And he is indeed the fastest race car on the track. Nemechek's lead has grown to 2.062 seconds over Brandon Jones. Austin Hill third, Josh Berry fourth, and Parker Kligerman is fifth.
Hello, I'm Kate Levy. When I was just 10 years old, I lost my father Joe in the 9/11 attacks at the World Trade Center. He was a lieutenant in the New York City Fire Department. For 9/11 this year, now a National Day of Service, I'll be doing what my dad loved to do, helping others in need. Please join me by doing your own good deed that day. Visit 911day.org to learn more.
On Thursdays, NASCAR Live goes wide open. This podcast has you covered with interviews from the biggest newsmakers in the sport.
My job is to ultimately drive fast.
It's a track that can jump out and bite you, but I feel like it's my type of racetrack.
We also hear behind-the-scenes stories on some of your favorite drivers that you won't hear anywhere else.
There's a picnic table laying up in the field. Me and Joey both looked at each other and said, we should ride this thing down the hill.
New episodes drop every Thursday. Subscribe to NASCAR Live wherever you listen to podcasts.
33 laps to go in the Kansas Lottery 300. Nemechek's lead is now grown by a half second, up to 2.5 seconds over Brandon Jones with those 33 laps to go. From Kansas Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and I dedicate a lot of my time going fast. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
MRN Classic Races.
Ricky Rudd wins the Budweiser at the Glen.
Covering over 50 years of NASCAR racing on the Motor Racing Network.
Here comes Junior to the bottom. Dale Earnhardt Jr. ducks low on Stewart. They bang a bit in 3. Earnhardt is there. They bang again in 4.
Jeff Bodine is going to lead the first lap of the Busch 500.
Dale Earnhardt is going to win the Daytona 500 in his 20th try.
Boy, trying to maintain that lead as he moves off turn 2.
MRN Classic Races available on your favorite podcast platform.
You're listening to the NASCAR Xfinity Series.
Chandler Smith, for the first time in his career at the NASCAR Xfinity level, he wins the Toyota Care 250
on the Motor Racing Network.
The lead for John Hunter Nemechek has grown even more. It's 3.3 seconds now over second place Brandon Jones, Austin Hill, Josh Berry, Parker Kligerman. Still the top 5 as we race the Kansas Lottery 300. Before we get you back on the track for the action, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Motor Racing Network. Motor Racing Network live at Kansas Speedway. The NASCAR Xfinity Series is racing the Kansas Lottery 300. I'm Alex Hayden. Alongside is Jeff Striegel. Dave Moody and Mike Bagley are out in the turns, and up and down the pit lane are Steve Post and Chris Wilner.
170 down and 30 remain in the regular season finale here for the NASCAR Xfinity Series, running the Kansas Lottery 300, dominated by one driver. His name, John Hunter Nemechek. If you're just joining us, he has led 125 of 171. 10 caution flags already this afternoon for 49 laps. But again, that only tells part of the story. Brandon Jones running second must win if he's going to race for a championship. Parker Kligerman right now running fifth. Alex Hayden does not want that to happen.
He does not. He's perfectly content running fifth as long as John Hunter Nemechek continues to show the way. Heck, anybody who's already won this year, that's all Parker Kligerman needs to have happen for himself to be able to race for a championship this year. And what a great story that is for he and Scott Borchetta and that entire race team to put themselves in the position they have. And they've done it quite a bit here over the summer stretch, reeling off top 10 after top 10 coming into the week. Last week at Darlington was their first non-top 10 finish in the last 7 races after he was wiped out by Sam Mayer down at Darlington Racetrack.
Yeah, that is very true. He was coming off a 4th place run at Daytona, 3rd at Watkins Glen, 7th and 8th at Indy and Michigan, runner-up at Road America. It's been really, really good, Chris. All they need to do now is close it out over the next 26 laps.
They certainly do, and it's been extra special this weekend. Parker told me that Scott Borchetta is here. He actually just climbed up on the box to watch the conclusion of this race. Scott has been emphatic with this race team, been really hands-on the last several weeks, ensuring that they enjoy this ride to the postseason. It's been an up-and-down season, as you guys alluded to, but Parker really coming on strong late, and of course Parker already inking a deal to drive this car next year. So trying to close it out here, Scott cheering on his team from the top of the pit box. It's been a full team effort all season, just trying to close it out here in the final 26 laps.
He is indeed, and it's great to have him back at the racetrack after the year that he has had. And how about this race team, Dave Moody? Scott Borchetta, a racer himself. You kind of look at this team very similar to the Cup Series and Trackhouse Racing with their owner, Justin Marks.
No doubt about it. Scott Borchetta is a racer through and through. He's run late model types, short track racing events. He was seriously injured in a sports car racing crash earlier this year. Did some considerable sheet time, but kept an eye on that racing team, made sure they had everything they needed, has put his complete and total confidence in crew chief Patrick Donahue to run the operation, and they're not too far away from making it pay off. As a matter of fact, the closer we get to pay dirt, I'm wondering if maybe Patrick Donahue might call his driver down off that wall just a little bit to give himself a little extra leeway.
Right now he is following Josh Berry and Mike Bagley. We are winding this thing down. 23 to go. That is one side of the story. Parker Kligerman right now just trying to hold on, and he'll advance. The other story is Brandon Jones and what he's been through today, a track that he always runs well at. He sits second. That's not good enough, Mike.
No, it's not. But at the same time, I believe you and Alex were talking about this a little bit ago, about how that team has had the ups and downs of the day. The car started running well. He got turned around. He had to use up a set of tires and had to work his way back through the field. Seems like they've gotten knocked down a couple times, but they've gotten back up. Now, he needs more help. They've done a lot of the heavy lifting, but they're going to have either a late race caution, something happened to the John Hunter Nemechek car, something is going to need to happen that involves the race leader, not in a favorable manner for the leader, but if it happens, it will be definitely favorable for Brandon Jones, and to be able to make the playoffs after this tremendous up and down season that they have had to date.
We'll find out, because this has been a race early on, especially had caution after caution, problems for a lot of different drivers, and then suddenly here, Jeff, once we've ended the stage part of the racing, this thing is spread out and settled down tremendously.
But again, they are running just inches off the wall. Brett Moffitt coming off 4 centimeters off the wall. Good day for Brett. He's right now running in position number 7. Derek Kraus, good day, 8th. Kaz Gralla, another good day for him. He's 9th. And how about Jeb Burton? Good day there, running inside the top 10. You know, there's a lot of good stories here, but John Hunter Nemechek is just trying to steal the headlines.
He absolutely is. As I watch out on the racetrack, Parker Kligerman getting aggressive, made the pass on Josh Berry. Kligerman has just taken over the number 4 spot, is beginning to drive away from Josh Berry. Berry has more company now. Sheldon Creed is now on his bumper for the number 5 spot.
Creed is there as they enter turn number 1. That was not a spot that Parker Kligerman needed, really, but if you know anything about Parker Kligerman, Mike Bagley, you know that if there's a spot to be taken, he's going to take it.
And he will do it responsibly, and he just did that right there by passing Berry, but Berry's got bigger problems. He not only has the Sheldon Creed car behind him, but he's also got Brett Moffitt closing in as well.
Yeah, again, Brett Moffitt having a very good day. 19, soon to be 18 to go. As we take a look around the racetrack, and the one thing that becomes very clear is the size advantage Nemechek has, Alex, over Brandon Jones. It has grown to 4 seconds, and you have to believe that if you're Brandon Jones right now, you've given up the fight to try to run him down, at least under the green flag, almost like we give up unless we get a caution flag.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, a caution flag may not help Brandon Jones at all. He doesn't have any fresh tires like everybody else. And I know sportsmen are out there and they're going to say, yeah, I don't ever wish bad luck on my competitors. You know what? If I'm driving one of those race cars, I do. I need some bad luck for somebody else if it's going to help me in my career and have a chance to try to race for a championship. And as it appears right now, that's what it's going to take. It's going to take some bad luck for John Hunter Nemechek.
The year was 1993. The NASCAR Cup Series season kicked off with the Dale and Dale Show at the Daytona 500.
Dale Jarrett's got the lead. He goes to the inside. Earnhardt's not going to get him. Dale Jarrett is going to win the Daytona 500 by SDP. Earnhardt second.
The 1993 NASCAR Cup Series season. All the highs and lows. Relive them all on MRN's exclusive podcast, The 1993 Season. Available on podcast platforms and MRN.com.
Hey, this is Mike Bagley. Join me along with the cast and crew of the Motor Racing Network every Tuesday night for NASCAR Live. Hear exclusive interviews.
Waking up, coming back to Victory Lane, doing media spot. That's kind of when it really sunk in that, hey, we accomplished something great.
The best moments from each of NASCAR's premier series.
Chastain did a video game move, drove it and never lifted.
As well as break down the upcoming race weekend and more. It's NASCAR Live every Tuesday night at 7 Eastern.
7th place driver Brett Moffitt just bounced it off the safer barrier in turn number 4. He's been able to continue on, and the race stays under the green flag with John Hunter Nemechek leading by 5 full seconds over Brandon Jones, Austin Hill, and Parker Kligerman. Sheldon Creed is now up to the number 5 spot. We're down to 15 laps to go from Kansas Speedway. This is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Whelen Engineering, a global leader in the emergency warning industry, designs and manufactures reliable and powerful warning lights, white illumination lighting, sirens, controllers, and warning systems for the automotive, aviation, and mass notification industries worldwide. Whelen products are designed, sourced, and manufactured in America and tested on site to meet the toughest industry standards. Whelen Engineering, manufactured in America for over 70 years. We never left, and we're here to stay.
From tickets, parking, and travel, race weekends can be stressful. Let Racing Electronics make communication easy. With a scanner and Easy Talk intercom system rental from Racing Electronics, you can effortlessly talk over the noise of the race. Hear uncensored driver and crew communication from every team in the race, or tune into the race broadcast with your favorite MRN announcers. To learn more, visit RacingElectronics.com today.
You're listening to the NASCAR Xfinity Series.
A grandfather clock. John Hunter Nemechek is won here at Martinsville Speedway.
On the Motor Racing Network.
5.5 seconds. That's the lead now for John Hunter Nemechek. That's the equivalent of about 3/4 of the back straightaway, if not a hair more. So Nemechek just driving away right now from Brandon Jones as we're in the midst of our longest green flag run of the entire race.
5 up on Brandon Jones, almost 8 seconds up on Austin Hill, 9 seconds on Parker Kligerman. Sheldon Creed is 5th, Josh Berry 6th. Brett Moffitt grazed the wall just a couple of laps ago. Didn't really lose any positions on the racetrack. He's 7th. Derek Kraus, Kaz Gralla, and Joe Graff Jr. has come to position number 10. That's a tip of the cap moment for Joe Graff Jr.
It is, driving Joe Gibbs Racing's number 19 car here today. He's had a handful of starts in that machine this season, having a solid afternoon here at Kansas Speedway. Is Joe Graff Jr. He's a smart one. He's been a student at NYU and trying to get his marketing degree to see what he can do if the racing career doesn't pan out.
Well, right now he's doing very good behind the wheel. John Hunter Nemechek, the class of the field, bar none, nobody close, as he just tries to bring it home now with 10 laps remaining. It's Nemechek, Brandon Jones 1-2. Brandon is seeing his hopes dwindle. Let's go for a ride with the race leader, John Hunter Nemechek. Here at the Kansas Speedway, he's up in 1.
All by himself with an area code, a zip code, all to himself. Just dealing with the lap cars as they come and having no trouble with them off turn 2.
I don't think he has buried his line much all day at all here in turns 3 and 4. He comes off the end of the backstretch, just glides it in, keeps it about a foot or two off the safer barrier, picks up the throttle and takes it off the corner.
He does indeed. He gets to the line, 9 laps to go. John Hunter Nemechek trying to deliver Toyota their 200th win as he races back to turn 1.
Into the banking up turn number 1. One more lap car dead ahead. Then he'll have a little bit of open asphalt. He'll pull up on the Matt Mills machine, go to the bottom and bypass him off 2.
Quite a milestone for Toyota. 200 NASCAR Xfinity Series wins. John Hunter Nemechek would love to give that to them this afternoon, and he's in good shape right now, just having put a lap on the Matt Mills car.
Single-digit laps remain now. 8 to go for John Hunter, 8 to go for Brandon Jones and Parker Kligerman. John Hunter back in turn 1.
Here he comes into turn number 1. No traffic ahead, no traffic behind. A little further back, Parker Kligerman still not satisfied. He's reeled in the Austin Hill machine, pulls up on his back bumper. They'll battle for position as they race their way through turns 1 and 2 and off onto the back straightaway.
Here comes Hill and Kligerman out of 2 and onto the backstretch. One thing that's been noticeable about the last 10 laps or so, that the back markers have gotten considerably slower as John Hunter Nemechek gets faster, meaning more traffic to be dealt with at a greatly reduced rate of speed.
And a lot of that now presents another issue, and that's the closing rate for the fastest car, John Hunter Nemechek, with these slower cars on these old Goodyear tires. The more green flag laps we put on them, Jeff, Nemechek's got something else he's going to have to deal with.
Well, he's going to have to deal with it for the final 6 laps. Let's pick up a good battle for third. Austin Hill, Parker Kligerman, Sheldon Creed headed to Mike Bagley.
Here they come off the end of the back straightaway. Parker Kligerman dials up the low lane. He's alongside Sheldon Creed right behind Austin Hill.
Off turn number 4, this 3-car fight exits the turn. Parker Kligerman can't afford to get too frisky here. Currently, he's got a spot in the playoffs. Can't afford to wrinkle that car up or spin it out.
These spots mean absolutely nothing to Parker Kligerman, and I think he knows it. He was on the back bumper of Austin Hill when he saw Sheldon Creed materialize in the rearview mirror. He pulled down and gave him the outside lane.
Now it's Sheldon Creed that closes up behind his teammate Austin Hill off the end of the back straightaway. Creed's going to take it right to the fence. Hill's going to keep it about a lane and a half off the wall in 3.
5 to go, Alex Hayden. The last thing John Hunter Nemechek wants to hear in his ear would be caution. Right now, he's on cruise control, just going to close it out here this afternoon.
He is. He's been threading through some of those back markers. He just put Anthony Alfredo another lap down. Anthony's had a miserable long day. He was involved in a crash 100 yards past the start-finish line, which feels like happened last week this race has been going on.
4 to go here at the Kansas Speedway. Across the line, 6-second advantage. John Hunter Nemechek over everybody else in the field.
Nestled into a bit of lap traffic here. He's coming up on the back bumper of the Josh Williams machine. Williams, I think, sees him coming and is going to give him plenty of room.
Well, no, not yet. Josh Williams is going to stay right in front of John Hunter and going to force John Hunter to go to the bottom of the racetrack, something he's not done virtually all afternoon. John Hunter will, and he'll also bypass Josh Williams in the process.
And will be very ginger on the accelerator on the old tires. Nemechek will clear the Josh Williams car. Flash by the line, 3 laps to go.
Here he comes into turn number 1. A couple of more lap cars will have to be dealt with before it's over. First in line will be the Jeb Burton machine, who's had a pretty good top 10 kind of day for himself.
And again, these back markers are moving at a snail's pace, what seems to be that, compared to the pace that John Hunter is setting. Here's John Hunter up against the wall, again, still trying to close in on the Jeb Burton car.
2 laps, 3 miles. That's all that remains here this afternoon for John Hunter Nemechek. He has just led his 152nd lap, Dave.
He has pulled it down another maybe 2 or 3 feet off the outside wall. Not giving up his groove for sure, but giving himself a little bit of elbow room as he follows Jeb Burton.
But maintaining pace and maintaining the rhythm that he has set all afternoon. Here again, John Hunter, bottom of the racetrack in turn 3. He'll just ease to the inside of Jeb Burton.
As they come up off of turn number 4 down to the line, John Hunter Nemechek will see the white flag go in the air. Final time around Kansas Speedway. John Hunter Nemechek.
Final trip into turn number 1, and Elvis has left the building. John Hunter Nemechek with a massive lead pulls up on the lap car of Leland Honeyman. Won't even have to pass him off turn.
But he will, because Honeyman will give way midway down the back straightaway. At the entrance to turn 3, back to the top of the racetrack, here comes John Hunter Nemechek out of 4.
And he will be looking for the black and white checkered flag, and it is in the air here at the Kansas Speedway, and John Hunter Nemechek has picked up his 6th win of the season, scoring the win in the Kansas Lottery 300. John Hunter Nemechek, dominating performance here this afternoon, scores the win over Brandon Jones, and others will recap that for you in just a moment. John Hunter, let the celebration begin down on pit road.
Yes, they are celebrating, and Ben Bayshore, the crew chief on this Toyota Camry crew. Ben, congratulations. What a dominant performance.
Yeah, John Hunter just did a really good job today of managing his tires, managing that 50-lap run there, and, kind of got fortunate. Some of the cars we were racing there at the beginning got taken out, so wish we could have raced them there at the end, but just great job by these guys and all the guys at Joe Gibbs Racing and putting just a solid car underneath us and letting us go out here and have a lot of fun today.
A lot of fun, that's for sure. Ben Bayshore, 6th win of the season for this team with John Hunter Nemechek.
They led 154 of 200 laps. John Hunter Nemechek, Ben Bayshore, and the rest of that Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota team is